Can I be heard? Can I be heard? Can I be heard? Can I be heard? Yes, I can. Right. Oh, crikey. Yep. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. I had not muted myself, but I'd muted myself through my headphones controller, which is always good fun, you know, to do that. Well, apologies for that. We are live. Well, we are live. We've been live for a while. We have finally got game audio, or audio of me. Yep. I hadn't muted myself. I just had turned a knob down, which signifies that I'm indeed a bit of a knob. Welcome, good evening, and welcome to ALR event. We are live here, Saudi Arabia. Thank you, Nosy. Yes, my microphone had a green light on, but was actually not picking up my voice, which is the wonderful voice technology. Yes, we are live in Saudi Arabia for, as the title may give away, a double header. That is right. The drivers tonight will not have to do 100% races at a single track. No. That's too easy, ladies and gentlemen. We will be having back-to-back races, two 50% races. First one here in the lovely Jeddah Corniche circuit, Saudi Arabia. The second one, Baku. Two sides of the same coin. One is the fastest street circuit in the calendar. The other one, the tight and twisty part of the track, part of the calendar, which has some of the narrowest corners in the world. So, yes, a very exciting double header. Here we go. Okay, apologies. I'll turn it down as quickly as there we go. Hopefully that's slightly more dulcet tones, and I am sounding a little bit more nicer. we're riding aboard with Marsky. He's doing his first lap of the session so far. I'm going to make sure that I can... Yes, hello mate, good evening everybody. There we go, all set up now. Sorry, it was a bit of a last minute dash, I thought, for a second. But all is good, all is set up, all is right with the world. Yes, we're aboard with Marsky. So, double header, this is how it is going to work. The drivers will do 18 short qualifying tonight, as they are, and that will set the grid for Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia will be set by the times done by the drivers, but Baku is done by championship order, and I will run through the championship order in a minute, and again before we go into Baku. So the drivers only one qualifying session tonight, but of course have to make it count. The full points are awarded as well. It is no change to the point system, so it will be a maximum amount of points. You're basically getting 2 race wins in one night if you can do it. So this is a critical night. If you want any chance at this championship, you need to A, be here, and B, get some good points here, because these points will certainly make sure that your qualifying is important, or your championship is important. Marsky, top of the time, 29.6, first driver out on track. Let me pull up all my data so I know what everyone's going on. Jeddah in the Williams. Jeddah's had a pretty decent season so far. Kamara Racer in the Alpine, that is being a name near the top. 29.2, he goes fastest. Jeddah 29.3, a 10th off of the Alpine, so good start from Jeddah. So good job from the Williams driver. He's been quite good as Jeddah. He hasn't been the quickest out of the bunch, but he's definitely been consistent, and that has done him a load of favours. Just fighting the other Ferrari coming down this back straight. Now, Saudi Arabia, new track to the calendar, one of the newest tracks. Technically a newer track than Qatar. It is technically the third newest track on the calendar after Las Vegas and Miami. Reflection top on a 28.9. It does split some opinions. Someone said that it looks like... well, I don't know if I can really say what it looks like, but when someone mentioned this to me, I cannot unsee the design of this track, the way the track looks. It does look, well... Yeah, I can't say it. I don't want to say it. It's not very professional of me to say it. It's justified as a 28.9 and immediately into 28s and immediately less than a 10th off reflection on provisional pole. But yeah, ever since someone mentioned the look of the track to me, I can't unsee it now, to be honest. But it is a new track. A great track for racing, especially on the F1 games, because of the high-speed nature. A lot of overtaking spots. Fastest, as I said, street track on the calendar. Baku as well. Quite a quick track as well. So downforce levels will be quite low, because obviously these cars generate so much downforce now on the Venturi tunnels on the underside of these cars that you don't need the downforce, you don't need the rear wings. You know, the 2021 cars had really thick rear wings, but the 2022 cars haven't needed them because they have so much downforce generated under it, as Kamara Racer does pit, obviously, on his in-lap. Let's actually get into this session. Kiki in the V-Carb is up next. He is pushing on, keeping it to the left as much as he can, as 28.5 is his reward. A good lap there from Kiki. Very strong showing from him. Who is next across the line? Jay Hings in an Aston Martin, getting a cheeky slipstream there from the Red Bull, who I think also might be finishing a lap. Red Bull of Ginger Rage goes P8. Jay Hings goes P6. A little cheeky toe to the line there from the Rage. 31.4 from Ginger Rage. Might need a little bit of time to get a bit more competitive in this evening, but it's Sean. He will eventually get a race win, and when he does, we will all wonder how the hell he's done it. So there we go. Yes, good job there from everyone. As I said, I'll go through the championship order in just a minute, and again before Baku, because Baku is being set by that championship order. So thankfully, the light will not be too much extended by the fact we're doing 2 back-to-back races. Markey goes P3, also on a 28.9. So 3 drivers on a 28.9. Kiki on a 28.8 is proving to be the cream of the crop so far. Lucas Percy in the kick Sauber. I think I've been a bit disappointed by Lucas this season. You know, he's a rapidly quick driver in gold, but he just hasn't really kicked on here. It could be the Sauber, to be fair. It is a dog of a car. I am also going to put it out there that for next week's... Oh, I say that. It does a 28.3, goes half a second clear of anyone else. Okay, I guess I really should just shut up, even though I am a commentator, which is... I guess I'm not very good at my job. As he puts me to bed with a lap time half a second clear of everyone else. Okay, Percy, clearly listening to this, clearly a bit riled by the fact that I've called him a bit disappointing. Who do? But yes, Nolsey and the other Kick Sauber have done okay. You know, they've been thereabouts. Solid points scored by both drivers. Nolsey can't quite emulate his teammate. 28.2 for the Kick Sauber. Legend in the Haas is beginning a lap. Vessier in the other Aston Martin is coming to the middle part of the track. This track is good fun. It is, though, I also realise it is just chicanes. It's like kind of like the Circuit de Gilles Villeneuve in Canada. It is just chicanes. We had a chicane just then, and then we've got another chicane coming up. And it's just like, Jesus Christ, Herman Tilke, could you not think of any other corner types in the chicane? Clearly not. Vestiaire now onto the back straight, the longest of the DRS straights available to us tonight. Slightly off-put by the fact that we have a very quite quick corner coming up, and a blind corner at that. So dead here, quite prevalent, of course, on this year's game, very prevalent in that part of the track. And also kind of terrifying, because if someone puts it in a wall, you can have situations where you're flying around a corner at 150 miles an hour, and there is a car sideways across the track, and you can't see them in stopping time, which is, you know, some people call that terrifying. While the drivers set their laps, we've got most of the benchmarks have been set. Legend is the next one to set a lap. I will go over the reserves we've got in. We've got 3 reserves in today. We've got Lewis in the Alpine. Yes, Lewis O'Reilly in the Alpine, P11 at the moment. Balint in the McLaren, yet to show his face, but he is here. And Liam in the Mercedes. So those are the 3 reserves. So Liam in the Mercedes. So 1 Mercedes, 1 McLaren, 1 Alpine. Funny enough, all teams will be having a Mercedes engine in their cars next year. Isn't that just incredible, the things you see? So Lucas Percy well clear at the moment on a 28.3. He has set quite a large gap, especially given the fact that this is 100% cars. These are realistic cars, so these are realistic performances. It's not on equal like it is for most of the other leagues. So these cars will reflect their real life performance. You know, so McLaren will be quickest, Sauber will be slowest. But there is, if you did not know, a performance patch coming in. I think it is tomorrow. The performance of the cars will be tweaked because obviously when Cody's put this game out, the data they have is basically from the first pre-season tasting and the first 5 races. So the performance of the cars recently will change. So we might end up seeing drivers change teams depending on how the performance of the cars is tweaked. For example, the Sauber might get a bit of a buff, Williams might get a bit of a nerf, so we might have to change around some lineups. So just do be aware, if the performance patch is launched tomorrow, which I think it is, I could be wrong, but I think it is pretty soon. If and when it is launched, there may be some tweaks ahead of next week's race. Nothing confirmed, of course, just to make things a little bit clearer. If people do suddenly swap teams, I still think we should have a team principal system because I think it'll be quite funny. Jeddah improves P7 29 flat. He does improve by 0.3. Good, strong lap there from Jeddah in the Williams. As I said, very consistent. He's not been the quickest, but he's been consistent. Liam is currently invalidated. It would have been a 30-point flat. That would have put him just behind Vestiaire in the Aston Martin. Obviously he validated, so that will not count. Legend is back in, Gino will be back in, I'm sure. This is normally a one-stop strategy race, probably medium, hard, medium. Safety cars, not always a given. I expected a safety car in the silver race here a couple of weeks ago, didn't happen. But these are realistic cars, so they may have, stats of oversteer. They may lack downforce in points. So how the drivers, respond to that could be cause for a safety car. We hope not, because this is a long evening as it is. I've just noticed reflection P2 28.5, good lap from him, but still 2 tenths off Lucas Percy, who set that lap quite a while ago now. So drivers closing in on Percy. They are getting a little bit closer. They are just not getting really within striking distance. The gap from 4th to 6th is sort of what we usually see in 100%. Just Lucas Percy has knocked the ball out of the park, out of the atmosphere, and it is somewhere between here and Mars. So good laps from everyone. Everyone keeping it clean. So good job from the drivers. This will be their only qualifying session, so they are definitely going to be enjoying themselves while they can. And of course, it will be a dry race. I don't need anyone to tell me the weather because it is Saudi Arabia. I've not seen a wet Saudi Arabia race. I have seen a wet Abu Dhabi race and a wet Bahrain race. I've never seen a wet Saudi Arabia race because I think that would be too chaotic for anyone to manage. Although I think it would be quite funny if we're going to have another wet race wildcard like we did in Australia. I would kind of like it. Or was it Australia, Japan, no, China. I think it was China. I wouldn't buy Saudi Arabia, but I think it would be too chaotic for anyone to deal with, which is also quite funny. I don't know how you pronounce it. Balint is coming to the end of his lap. In the McLaren, his teammate Vintage is only 15th. The reserve, what can he do? Is he going to be a Nick De Vries reserve, or is he going to be a Winkelhock? He goes 30.5, so he goes ahead of his teammate by about a tenth and a bit. Only 14th though, so disappointing, I'm sure, for the McLaren team to be 14th and 16th. Liam is back into the pits. Equaz is beginning his flying lap in the Haas. The Haas drivers have been quite quick. Normally Legend P8, not bad, you know, strong lap time from him. If you can find a couple of tenths, it literally puts him on the second row. But he will be probably disheartened to be 7 tenths off Lucas Percy, who is going again. And I wonder if Lucas Percy has any more in the bag in that kick Sauber. The livery that is definitely a downgrade on last year's car, but I have grown to sort of accept it into my heart. Into the final corner, the 27th and final turn of this track for Lucas. I think he hit the inside wall and he's hit the outside wall. He has done a Yuki Tsunoda or a Max Verstappen, but Max Verstappen didn't hit the inside wall. He has royally put that in the wall and he's back into the pits. So Lucas Percy, in the pursuit of perfection, has put it in the wall, and that is unfortunate for him. Jay Kingston in lap. Knowsley is revving the hell out of that car. Jesus Christ, I thought I was back in the V8s. Obviously, runs the final corner, passes a bit of front wing from his teammate, which is just lying on the side. No marshals have decided to collect it. Knowsley decides to bolt into the pits as well. He was not happy with how that lap was shaping up. CS Rushman in the Red Bull, one of the favourite drivers on the grid, our bronze driver. Again, he's been very quick. He was very quick in China, very good pace. He's like Jeddah. He's there or thereabouts most weeks. I think he's probably a bit disappointed with his race last week in Japan, but again he has had some pretty strong pace. China, he was incredibly quick. So the Mushroom, when he has it, when it's his day, he is absolutely rapid. Equaz in the house. What can he do? P10, only P10 for Equaz. Our championship leader can only find 10th position. So work to do for both Haas drivers, considering Equaz will be on pole for the Baku Grand Prix. Maybe he's more focused on Baku, knowing that he will have the advantage there, but not at all what he would have wanted to be starting P10, because as I said, these races, 100% points are awarded even for a 50% race. So if you want to really extend the championship leaders, I'm sure he does, he needs to probably be higher than 10th, but his nearest championship rival, who is racing Reflection, is P2. So as things stand, that would be a hell of a swing points if the race finished in the order that they started. But of course, this is ALR 100%, and God forbid we do anything in that order. Yeah, P10 exactly, as Equaz has decided to make up his own Jeddah Corniche circuit, because he's realised he hasn't got enough time to get back to the pits, so he is absolutely booking it. How much time is left on there? I don't know. There's a fry going slowly. I'm assuming they're out of fuel. Justify. Oh, they're just going slowly. We have 2 minutes 49. So yeah, if Equaz wants to get another lap in, he's really got to get a wiggle on. He might just about do it though. He might have to make up some lines on his outlap. Lewis O'Reilly back out there in the Alpine using overtake mode through Sector 1. That is a brave one. I've never seen anyone use overtake mode through Sector 1 in Jeddah. Most of the time people are in medium or none through that part of the track, and he's gone wide, but hasn't invalidated somehow. So that's impressive from him, but he's down by 3 tenths and he's in none. So I think he's going to back it out this lap, and hopefully he can go again and improve, because if he finds 3 tenths, it puts him ahead of Marsky. So, you know, the gaps are small, but they are in clumps. We're having clumps of people. It's not quite that what we usually see from these guys, which is 12 cars separated by second in qualifying. In fact, funny enough, 12 cars are separated by second actually in this. So again, talking out my arse. Thank God I'm not paid for it, because then that would be just embarrassing. Jinnah has gone again. He's down by a 10th on his Sector 2 split time. Is he going to find any time again? No, he boxed into the pits. That's Jinnah's session done. He will start no higher than P7. Justify is pushing, but oh god, that's going to be traffic. That's a McLaren and a kick Sauber. I don't think Justify can be happy with that. That is not at all what he would have wanted if he's on a push lap, which I think he is. Oh my... Oh, lads, that was... Yeah, no, that was... That McLaren there of... Who was that? That was Vintage. Vintage, not using his mirrors, blocked the Ferrari. And the Ferrari was hemmed in there because he had an Aston Martin on his left and a Ferrari and a McLaren on the racing line. That is not great from Vintage, and I would be surprised if that is I'm surprised if that's looked at after the session, because that was not at all nice to see. Ginger Rage in the Red Bull. He looks like he's going for a push lap beginning. Has he got wing damage? I think he has wing damage. Ginger Rage has indeed found the wall on his lap, so he will start no higher than 19th. Risky has retired. Equaz has retired. Championship leader will start no higher than P12. That's the story for the day. His teammate Legend beginning a lap. So we'll look now the people ending laps. Justify is coming to the end of his lap. As who was that popping up? That was Kamar. No, it wasn't. It was Marky P2, 28.4. Still, no one has topped Lucas Percy's benchmark from earlier in the session. Reflection is up, though, by enough of a gap to put himself right in the hunt for pole position. Kamara Racer is done for the day. Kiki is on his outlap. Has he got enough time to get to the start-finish line? I hope so. Yes, he does. He will be okay. Will Coop be okay? Coop's starting his lap, so he will be. So all the drivers on track are either on an in-lap or a push lap, so we will now wait and see who is next. Kiki starts his lap. There we go. We have 14 drivers on the track. No, we haven't. We have less than that. 13 drivers on track. All will be pushing for glory. Reflection up to the line. He's up by enough to get pole position. Reflection to the line. Can he get pole position? He can with a 28 flat. What a lap from Reflection. Puts the benchmark even higher. But there are others around them. There are others on track who can definitely improve, definitely find the time that he is looking for. Balin is up by nearly a second, so that is going to be a stonking lap from the McLaren if he can find that time and more as he heads into the 27th and final corner. What can the McLaren driver do? He's reserving in tonight, subbing in the super sub of Balin. What can he do? He's run out of battery up to the line. Balin up to the line, what can he do? Is it going to be a 29? It's a 29.2, puts himself P13, 2 milliseconds off Equaz. Behind him is a Mercedes. That is Mercedes of Liam, goes 15th. No, not quite the heights of his teammate. We have a Haas of Legend coming up to the line. What can Legend do? He's got a lot of battery. I don't think this is going to be an improvement. No, it is not. Legend will start no higher than P9. A disastrous day for the Haas team, who would have probably expecting better out of their 2-star drivers. Hings is on a lap, but we have a couple of cars ahead of him. We have a kick Sauber of not Lucas Percy, but of Knowsley. What can Knowsley do? Up to the line for Knowsley. It is P10 for him, but Lucas Percy, all eyes to the other kick Sauber. He's trying to get toes everywhere he goes. Up to the line, can he get the pole time? He can't. He misses out on pole by less than a tenth of a second. Up next is going to be Kiki. Kiki's up by 4/10. This could put him on the second row. It does. 28.2 from Kiki puts him P2. Marsky has abandoned his lap. That is the session done, and it is Reflection, the closest driver to Equaz, who's racing tonight in the championship. He is on pole with a 28 flat. Lucas Percy had pole for 90% of the session, but at the very end, it was Lucas Percy who lost out. Is Reflection Lucas 1-2. Kiki will be happy with P3. It's all V-carb, second row, and Kamara Racer rounds out your top 5, but astonishing, nearly 7/10 off pole position. Well done, Reflection. That is the lap that you would want and the lap you need from a guy like that to really get everything up and running. So well done to Reflection. Props to him for pole position. We will now look for the official standings, just so we can indeed confirm there is Reflection on pole by less than a tenth of a second from Lucas Percy. Kiki P3, Marky P4, Camaro Racer P5, Coop P6. It's an all Ferrari fourth row with Marsky and Justify. Jenna and Legend P9 and P10. G Hings is P11, Knowsley P12, Vessier 13th, Equaz 14th, Balint 15th, Liam 16th, Steve Thrusham 17th, Lewis Riley 18th, Vintage 19th, Ginger Rage is unfortunately last. The boy from Barbados, Ginger Rage, is dead last, unfortunately. So yeah, great job from them. Just gonna turn down that because I can hear Marsky talking to us through the through my controller. We don't want that just yet. But good job from everyone. We are now going to load into the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix drivers selecting their setups, getting everything ready. We'll be back shortly. Right, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. We are back racing. Well, not racing, we're on a formation lap, but that is the signal that we are about to begin a race here in ALR. Let's have a look, see what the drivers are doing, what the plan is for them. We have, of course, Reflection on pole, stonking pole from the driver looking to put a dent into Equaz's championship lead. those are the tyres. No softs used by anyone. That's not a surprise given the fact that soft tyres are about as useful as a wet wipe. Everyone on mediums down to Marsky, who's the first of the hard runners. Jenna on hards, Knowsley on hards, Vessier hard, and Liam hard. So we have 5 on hard, 15 have picked the medium. As I said, easy one stop, and I'm not wouldn't be surprised if most of these drivers on the mediums will be banking on an early-ish safety car. So wouldn't be surprised, as I said, if they are banking on an early safety car, just to get them to the hard tyres. There is your race strategy. Medium hard, the pit stop window lap 11 to 13. So you'd think for the hard runners, the pit window would be somewhere from 13 to 15. The mediums will, of course, quick off the line, quick for the first couple of laps, but the hard tyres will come into their own towards the end. Will anyone try a two-stop? I did in silver, and I did get points out of it. It wasn't the quickest way to do it, but it also was a bit of a bungled strategy where I kind of committed to a two-stop. A bit late into the game, as you should say. There is the two-stop pitting around lap 8 for another set of mediums, and then lap 16 or 17 for a set of the harder tyres. I don't think many will be doing it unless they have front wing damage or there is a safety car that changed up the order, which, given it is Jeddah, could not be a surprise. We've had missile strikes. A safety car seems somehow a lot more plausible. There is your grid coming round now to begin the first of our double bill tonight. As I said, not 1 but 2 races will be taking part tonight. So, fantastic job from these guys. Of course, it's going to be long for them, but they will have a break in the middle, so it won't be quite as difficult on them as 100% is. They can have a pee break. They can have a little bit of a quick break while we reset the lobby for the second race of this evening's action. This will be a reminder to all drivers listening. Do not forget your setups for Baku. Please, for the love of God, do not forget them, because Baku without a setup does seem incredibly painful. So, don't forget your setups, ladies and gentlemen. So, yep, here we go then. Lining up on the grid, everyone will get their grid spots just about right. Who is going to get the good launch? That is a very quick ginger age. No, it wasn't. Justify is disqualified. Hopefully we can get a different camera angle, because I can't tell what anything's happening from this camera angle, but this is F1 25. God forbid we get a good camera angle to watch the start of a race. "26 laps. It's Jeddah, the scariest track on the calendar. And we are racing here in Jeddah. Look like a pretty even start for the top 2. Kiki potentially there, not getting the launch he wants. Lucas Percy launching it up the inside. Is he going to get the move done? How about the outside reflection? Reflection goes wide. This contact reflection is down to P2. Can Kiki pounce on it? He cannot. Bit of carbon flyer firing off at the back. I think that's from a Williams. Not quite sure which car that was. Marsky lost position to his teammate. Not surprised that he's on the hard tyres. He's got a little bit of a look from Legend. He's not going to get through there. Liam and F1. F1 Balon has hit Liam there. He's round and down to the back and with wing damage, so that is that first part of tonight's race not going well for Balon, but it is Lucas Percy who holds the lead now. Everyone's made it through. Yes, Vintage goes wide though. Mushroom will take advantage of that. This one's up 18th. Further up the grid, Ginger Rage on the back of Knowsley. He's had a bad start on those hard tyres. Got to try and get much temperature. Lewis O'Reilly looking racy on the back of Liam. We've got Marsky falling down past Legend. Legend moved already up a couple of positions, passing the hard-shod Marsky, who will be slower at this stage of the race. Gino looked like he was struggling, as Marsky is clearly not making. He's making his own Jeddah Corniche circuit. Justify up ahead. It's Lucas Percy. Lucas Percy has bolted. The gap is 1.1 seconds already. He has broken DRS already. Gino's already getting past the errant car of Marsky. He's got one past one hard runner. He now leads the hard runner charge, but I think he's bottled them all up a bit, because Marsky looked like he had a pretty good run out there, and Jay Hings cannot be discounted on those medium tyres. But it is as they are for now. Marsky is harvesting already, and that could put him under threat from Hings. Hings is going around the outside. Can he get it done? No. Equaz looks on with interest. If these two take each other out, which they might do, they are already touching wheels, then he could get the spoils here, but he's out of order. Deploying is Hings. He's reached the maximum deployment for that lap, and that could put him, because here comes Equaz. That could put him under pressure. Equaz up the inside. Hings is still trying to get around the outside of Marsky. Hings' teammate Vessier getting in on the action as well. It is all kicking off down here in the lower half of the top of the grid, as Reflection already got a 3-second penalty. Marky's been overtaking his teammate. That's a very interesting overtaking spot. Reflection already with a time penalty, lap 2 of 25. He has already picked up a 3-second time penalty. That is going to hurt. But he has dropped the 2 V-carbs. Equaz has got past Hings. Hings going backwards. Hings has had an issue there. He's going further and further down the grid, and he's on medium tyres, so you'd expect him to be going forward. There's a yellow flag. That is a McLaren of Balon, who has gone round again. Not missing any more of his front wing than he was previously. Lucas Percy, he's lost some time. Reflection has closed that gap. He will have DRS DRS detection point was back there. Liam has got a 10-second penalty for cutting a corner and getting a position. It is all kicking off here. Reflection all in the back of Lucas Percy. He didn't quite have DRS. He will have it now. The detection point is just before that corner. Marky's got his teammate all over his proverbial backside. The V-carbs need to work together here, not fight each other. Reflection on the back. He has a DRS there. It's the rear wing slot gap opens. DRS wide open for Reflection as Kiki gets back past his teammate. Maybe it was a choreographed move. Maybe they can start using DRS to help each other. Catch these two, especially these two, start fighting. Reflection. He's close, not close enough at the moment, but he'll be happy to be back in DRS. But he has 3 seconds hanging over his head. 3 seconds that he will not be happy about. Further down the grid, any moves happening? Not quite yet. No, only a few people out of DRS of the cars ahead. Serious Mushroom on the back of the Aston of Hings. Nothing doing for Mushroom there on the Aston Martin. Balin has pitted already. He had a wing damage, so he's already going to pit. What will he go on to? He'll change that front wing. Yep, and it's going to be a set of the hard tyres going on for Balin, so he's going to have a long middle stint. Kamara Racer now brings up 3 seconds for track limits. That is lap 3 for him. So these penalties coming in thick and fast. Drivers struggling to keep these cars on the track, and as I said, these are realistic performance cars, so there are going to be cars here that do lack the downforce of their rear peers and rivals. Kiki has bolted for the sunset. He is really hoping he can get the DRS. I don't think he was close enough. Didn't quite get to Reflection's DRS, but he has pulled away from his teammate. Reflection as we go on board the helicopter. Beautiful shot of the Jeddah Corniche circuit. Reflection is getting closer. He could straight for a pass either at the end of the next straight or the beginning of the next lap into turn 1. He chased the kick sauber, but Kiki has now crucially wound himself into DRS as well. And he's dragged along pretty much everyone down to P12. So the top two who thought they could maybe get away with it are now being chased down by the rest of the grid. But Reflection is quick. Reflection has a lot of battery. Reflection has a lot of speed. He has a 3-second penalty over his name. He lost the lead to Lucas Percy on lap 1. Is he about to right that wrong? Can he go for it up the inside into turn 1? No, he's too far back now to make the move stick. And they'll now head into the harvesting mode. You can see Lucas Percy already harvesting through turn 1 and 2. He wants to get as much battery back as possible. Kamara Racer has fallen back. He is the Alpine at the head of the train here. It's not the Truly train anymore. It's the Camaro Char line. I can't think of a good one there. All the drivers there are flashing their lights. The lights are flashing. Thinking they are harvesting. Who isn't harvesting? Justify. He's all over the back of the Williams, and Coop's made a mistake there. Coop has made a mistake, and a big one at that. Could this give Justify the impetus he needs to get past the Williams? He's not close enough for a lunge into the hairpin, and he's too far back. In fact, Coop has fallen out the DRS range of Camaro. Just shows you how costly that mistake was. A change of age, 3 seconds. People are getting penalties like no tomorrow. That he could easily decide this race. The top 4 have broken away. It is Reflection, Lucas Percy, Kiki and Marky. Now the 2 V-carbs have the advantage here of being with each other. They can use team tactics if they are working together. They can be smart about this and work together. That's if they're working together. There is no guarantee of that. As Marky went wide, that's definitely going to be a warning for him. He cut the track quite nicely. As Lucas Percy is about to be overtaken. The wrong at turn 1 has been righted at the end of lap 4. Reflection takes the lead, but Percy had a much nicer racing line into there, and he will get DRS again. Bit of a slide there from the kick sauber. Reflection already trying to break the toe, weaving left and right, but Lucas Percy has the DRS and the battery to put his rival back down into second place. I think we have a race-long fight for the lead here, as Legend gets past Justify, and can he make it 2 for the price of 1? He can. Even Justify's having a look up the inside of Coop, and Coop loses 2 positions in once, and now his teammate's going to have a look. Jinnah and Coop, they've been very famous at not working together. In fact, they became quite close to contact several times in previous races, but Jinnah does stay back this time. But he's on the back of his teammate as Justify goes wide through the turns of 3, 4 and 5. The driver's already struggling on these medium tyres after 4 laps, especially with those on this lap. And Lucas Percy's out! Lucas Percy! Oh no! What's happened there? Oh, that's not good. That is a 3-car pile-up. That is Kiki, Reflection and Lucas Percy. I don't know what happened there. It's only a virtual for that. It's only a virtual for that. That is a surprise. I thought that would have been a full course caution, because that is Lucas Percy out. Now, do not forget, guys, do not leave the session if you crash out, because they have a second race later on this evening. Do not leave. As painful as it is, as angry you may be, do not leave the session, because we do have Baku still to come. but Markey, who has done nothing and won, is now leading the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, and we are back to green flag already. They've already got Lucas Percy's car off the track. There will be no yellow flag pit stops. Everyone is still out and about, so now the tyre face of this race has changed. Instead of Reflection and Lucas Percy fighting, we now have Markey, who's going to be trying to try and build that gap to Kamara Racer. And look at that boost Legend. Legend has shot up the order. He's shot up there like they put his tail on fire. Look, he's up 7 positions from where he started. That is simply incredible. And he's about to make it 8 positions. He's about to go flying around the outside of Kamara Racer into turn 1, or the inside line. Takes the inside line into turn 1. He's well past the Alpine before they even hit the braking zone of turn 1. Coupe has got back past Justify, who we think was struggling a wee bit on those medium tyres. But I think Coupe's doing much better, because here comes Justify. Going to have a drag race down to turn 4, which is not really where you want to have a drag race, to be honest. And Coupe does come out ahead. Justify is forced to the length, but Jeddah is there or thereabouts. And of course, on those hard tyres, he will be licking his lips. He knows that those tyres are at worst on parity with the mediums in front of him. At best, they're going to be quicker now. So Jeddah going to be looking to see if his teammate Justify fights some more to see what happens. I would love to know what happened with Lucas Percy, with Reflection and Kiki. The 3 leaders of this race have turned into basically the 3 drivers at the back. They're going to be racing the likes of Balin, who pitted on the end of lap 2 to fix his front wing. So that is a massive heartbreak for Lucas Percy as well, because he, regardless, I think, was on for a fantastic result, and he is now out. I'm not sure what quite happened. They just all suddenly started losing positions. So unfortunate there for the Kick Sauber. On to lap 6, Kamara Racer has kept him within the DRS of Legend, so that is going to be critical for him. Now, Legend doesn't have to catch up to the back of Markey. He can just stay behind and let the 3-second penalty on the V-carb take over as Justify gets back past Coupe. These guys all chopping and changing positions. Now, this could be a good chance for Jeddah here, because Jeddah on the better tyres now. He's going to have DRS on not only his teammate, but the... Oh, as that is available, it's cool there for Coupe into the pits. And that could help his teammate, because he's got to pass a Ferrari, even though he has no battery. And Marsky as well could pass his teammate. No, he's too far back on this occasion. Jeddah into turn 1 ahead, the leader of the hard runners. What is Coupe going on to? Surely another set of the mediums, maybe a set of the hards. He is going hard. That is going to be a difficult to keep those alive to the end of the race. Doable, but they will be horrific. My teammate, funny enough, Jay Hings, did a strategy similar. I think he pitched a couple of laps later, and he lost so much pace that I was able to overtake him by the end of the race on a 2-stop. So Coupe going for the undercut here. The undercut very powerful at Jeddah, but powerful if you keep it on the track, not if you go off of it. But that is the issue. You do have to do warm-up, and that warm-up can be quite hard. Especially on hard tyres. Not sure if this is a 1-stop or a 2-stop there from Coupe, because I'll say it's a 2-stop and he'll try and do a 1-stop. So we'll wait and see. Markey has pulled a bit of a gap on Legend here. He's gapped up to 2.5. So maybe Legend can't really rest on his laurels. He does have to get a bit of a wiggle on if he wants to keep within Markey's gap there to get within that 3 seconds, or keep within that 3 seconds, because Kamara Racer is keeping him honest, to be honest, which is very impressive for Kamara. I thought Legend would blast off into the sunset, but Kamara Racer giving us a true turn of speed right here and doing an incredible job of it. Kamara Racer, in fact, is going to... Oh, I thought he could go for a move there on Legend. To be fair, the more these two fight, that brings Jeddah into the equation on his hard tyres, and it also gives Markey more breathing room in that V-carb, which will help him massively when it comes to that 3-second penalty. Kamara Racer is not going to be close enough to get a move done into turn 1. Jeddah, though, he's got the 2 fries behind him. The 2 fries are going to swap positions. Are they? No, they're not. Justify is going to fight this one. No team honours down in Maranello. The Prancing Horse is going to keep going as it is, but it will be going with potentially not their quickest driver at the moment in front, because Justify's tyres will be poorer than that of Marsky's. But we'll wait and see. Lewis Riley has dived for the pit lane. Kiki sets right up on the race on his fresh mediums. Lewis O'Reilly into the pits for a set of the hards. He might be again trying to do that 1-stop strategy. But it will be difficult, because those hard tyres will be deader than dead by the end of this race, as my teammate proved in silver. So Lewis Riley comes up just behind Balin, but he's on a lot fresher tyres, so I'd assume that it's not going to stick around. And look at that gap. That gap is 3 seconds. Markey has the 3 seconds he needs to take that penalty and not to suffer any consequence for it. Legend got Kamara, and look at that. If it isn't Mr. Jenner, in the Williams on those hard tyres now, catching up to the back of both of these guys, who will be rapid. Will Jeddah, his tyres will be feeling great. Marky gets past his teammate, who had a bit of a wobble for good reason, so I don't think Marsky is going to be under threat from his teammate anymore. In fact, I'm pretty sure Justify will be looking behind and not in front, because Justify has got the other Haas of Equars. The Haases have not qualified well, but by God, have they had some fantastic race pace. And Equars thought he could even do a mid-corner pass there. Not quite enough there for the Haas driver. And it could be that Justify for the pits. No, Justify going left, but not putting up too much of a hassle. He'll make Equars go the long way round, but that won't be much of an issue for Equars, who gets himself up to P6. So both Haasses on the march up the order. And there goes Jinnah. Jinnah on Kamara Racer. Surely not here. Surely here is the answer. Jinnah on the traction race is far superior. So Jinnah gets up into the podium positions there on the hard tyres on those Williams. And he will probably get past the legend. He'll aim to get past him by the end of this lap. Marky needs to push on for another 2 or 3 laps if he wants to get the hards to the end of the race with a comfortable tyre life. But he, at the Sting stand, will struggle to do so. Jinnah is going to have the cards in his hands, but obviously Marky will have that. Marky will have that incredible undercut, which will extend the gap. Jinnah would probably need a later safety car if he was any chance of winning this race, but he's certainly tacked to the ring for a podium position. Onto the helicam shot of this very pretty looking Jeddah Corniche circuit. It is Marky, Legend and Jinnah, your top 3. If you're just tuning in and wondering where the hell the guys from qualifying went, well, they all hit each other, which unsurprisingly meant that they've tumbled down the order. Reflection 17th, Kiki 16th, Lucas Percy DNF. As Coop gets past Vintage Coop on those fresh hard tyres, gets past the McLaren without much difficulty. So Coop looking to make some ground up on those fresh tyres, but again he will have a lot of pain at the end of this race. Jinnah is going to not follow Legend in, because Legend is into the pits. Legend into the pits. He wants off those medium tyres, and this is the earliest possible point you can do it and make it to the end of the race. But his tyres will be pretty painful, I can assure you. They will not be feeling too fantastic by the end of this race, as Legend keeps it in, keeps it going. Out the pit lane, he's going to come up behind Coop, so Coop has undercut him on those fresh tyres. He is going to come out ahead though of Ginger Rage and Kiki, so he's come up behind Coop, so Coop will have the effective race lead, but he will be on very old tyres. He'll be hoping that his undercut will be powerful enough and that the guards behind will fall far enough behind that they won't have time to catch up to him. I think they will. So Legend out the pit lanes behind Vintage, which is going to cost him some more time. Kiki gets past Ginger Rage into the hairpin of turn, I think 10 it is. So Kiki is climbing up the order, but he's going to have to pit again because he's on medium tyres, which he started this race on. Ginger Rage, Jinnah is closing the gap to Marky. Is Marky now going to respond to Legend's pit stop? He did have a bit of a buffer, so he didn't have to do it immediately, but if he'd said it one more lap, I think it would get a bit tight between the two, although Legend is not stuck behind Vintage anymore. Marky does indeed respond a lap later, which doesn't speed. He gets into the pit lane on plenty of speed. Jinnah now has to go long. That is his strategy. That is his only choice at this point. Marsky stays out. Vestiaire stays out as well. Knowlesley stays out. Marky in, Kamara in, Equard in, Justify in, so the medium runners are now ditching their medium tyres at the earliest possible opportunity. Now this is important. Where is Legend? There he is. You can see him going down the start finish straight. Here he is. Legend on the left, Marky on the right. I think Marky's going to have the gap. Is Marky going to come out ahead of Coop? They made contact coming out of the pit lane, but it is Marky who just, by the skin of his teeth, that comes out ahead of the Williams, and that could be decisive. That could be huge for the course of this race. Marky has a much fresher tyres than his rival around him, and he does hold a nearly 2-second lead, so that is about the undercut. 1 to 1.5 seconds is the undercut power of these tyres here at Baku. So Markey is holding on to what will be effectively the race lead, but he has to get past the traffic quickly, especially behind Liam, who is on old hard tyres and struggling massively. You can see how much he's being held up. There is Markey. He's being held up, and all the while Legend is closing in ever more. Legend can see the V-car, and Markey's being held up even more by Liam, but he does have lots of battery, and he's in a DRS zone, and I'm sure he'll get past the Everett Mercedes now because he has to do it. He is past. Is Coop going to follow him through? Coop needs to follow him through at the quickest available opportunity. Coop follows him through. Coop is right on the tail of Markey. Coop has pitted. Coop is in this fight. He's got older tyres, but he is still in this fight. And he does not have that penalty against his name. And there is Legend. Legend, the Haas that can. He is flying up and around. He's going to go around the Mercedes. He's going to try it. Is Liam going to give him enough room? Just about. Liam gets through on Legend. Legend gets through on Liam, I should say. And there we go. This will be your effective new top three. It is Markey, Coop, and Legend. Markey has a time advantage, and you'd argue a pace advantage, or has had a pace advantage this entire race. He's been quite rapid, has Markey, since he inherited the lead. But there are other cars who need to pit, other cars on the alternate strategy, and a safety car right now could throw them all into the mix. Safety car now does help the medium runners. It'll probably be a little bit earlier than they'd like, but they'd use the tyres. They clear the tyres on the safety car. Vessier picks up 3 seconds for Event track limit warnings. Markey now has clean air in front of him to the kickstart of Knowsley, and quickly he is pushing hard. More people picking up penalties. Markey pushing hard. Broken DRS to Coop. Coop's going to have a Legend on his back, and I do think Coop's strategy, whilst it has paid off in the short term, he is not going to be feeling too good in the long term. But we'll wait and see how it all pans out. Coop will probably be in the camp of wanting a safety car, although probably not quite yet, because he can probably switch back onto the medium tyres. Because those cars will be pretty dead by the end of this race. Not dead as Reflections, our former race leader, who is currently behind Justify and Equaz, both of whom have pitted recently, and both of whom have just passing around Kiki. Kiki has been overtaken by Equaz. Kiki on 6th lap. Oh, he's in the wall. That could be a virtual. Is that going to be a virtual safety car? No, it's nothing yet. Nothing yet. Kamar Racer gets past Liam, probably well timed. In case that becomes a stoppage, I think. Kiki has gotten going again. He's keeping to the left, making sure he's keeping out the way of all the other drivers. Vessier has pitted that quite early for the mediums because medium runners didn't even make it to lap 11, and Vessier's asking 12 of his. But we will wait and see how that works for Vessier. Coop is still on the back of Legend. Legend, of course, ahead of the Williams now, and probably look to pull away. He's only 2 seconds behind the effective race leader of Markey. As Lewis O'Reilly gets past Vessier, who's still at the pit lane with Vessier, going to come out just ahead of Lewis O'Reilly by the skin of his teeth, but he'll use those new mediums to get well clear of the Alpine. I'm sure Vessier will fly down the road, but again, I'm not sure that's the right call to pit that early. Liam and Kiki both in the pits. Liam onto mediums and Kiki for a new front wing and onto a new set of hard tyres, which will see him comfortably to the end of the race, but he is dead last from the heights of the podium to the bottom of the grid. Even if he finishes here, he won't even score a solitary point for his woes. He'll be looking to Baku, I think, already to try and make a bit of a comeback. Gino continuing to extend his stint. I do think he could pit now, but it would again be pretty painful if no medium runners made it to lap 11 and they had the benefit of a virtual safety car, albeit a relatively short one. So Jenna, is he going to pit? Is he going to respond to Vessier's undercut attempts? Vessier has a nice clean bit of track ahead of him before he gets to Reflection and Justify and Equaz. Is Jenna coming in? No, Jenna sticking it out. Jenna knows now that medium tyres, as quick as they will be, they will not be giving him any grip at the end of this race, and he's looking to lap 25, not lap 15, as Equaz is ahead of Reflection. Equaz overtakes his championship rival, his closest championship rival in this race. R2B still on holiday. Reflection, there he had the chance to massively cut into Equaz's lead. As things stand, Equaz will be the one who will be pulling away. Equaz now stuck behind the fight of Justify, so Reflection might still be able to keep an eye on his championship rival in the short term, but those tyres will be dead by the end of this race. And I won't be surprised if we see Reflection come back into the pits for a set of mediums in a few laps' time. CS Mushroom gets past Balin. Balin been on those tyres since lap 2, and Mushroom is past and well off, scampering into the sunset already. Just going to show you how quick fresh tyres are over dead tyres. This little train here is what I think Jenna's trying to avoid. Although these cars will be quicker, he doesn't really want to come out, because if he comes out behind Reflection, he's going to be stuck in a DRS train of epic proportions. because Reflection, I'm sure, will be trying to. Reflection, I'm sure, will be trying to keep up with this for as long as possible. If he can keep up DRS of quicker cars on fresher tyres, then that helps him in the long term. But in the short term, he is going to struggle as Legend is closing in onto the back of Knowsley. Knowsley's been passed by Marky already. Marky already nearly up onto the back of Marsky and Jinnah, who are yet to pit in this race. Are the top two going to pit? Jinnah is moving to the left, and into the pits comes Jinnah. That is probably the perfect time to pit onto the medium tyres as long as he doesn't speed. He does not well in. Marsky stays it out for another lap. Marky will pass past the pit lane there with some speed into P2. Marky nearly has the lead of this race back. Legend, he isn't too far from Knowsley, but he is dropping back off the back of Marky. Gap between the two of them sits at 2.8 seconds, 2.9 even. So Legend doesn't have anything from Marky. Marky might have a 3-second penalty, but Marky has the pace to make good on that as Knowsley and Legend are running around in third and fourth. Legend will need to get past Knowsley this lap if he has any hope of keeping up with the runaway V-Cub, but the runaway V-Cub has some traffic potentially in his view. Marsky in the fight on those old hard tyres, but I think Marky has timed this to perfection. He'll catch up to Marsky just as they come into a DRS zone. Same for Legend, so I don't think either of these cars will be much of an issue for the two race leaders. Jinnah has popped himself out in P10 ahead of Vestiaire, but behind Reflection, Justify and Equaz, which is going to be a fun DRS train for him to latch himself onto. Less fun for him to try and get past people. Marky is 3/10 off the back of Marsky. Is Marky going to make a move on the Ferrari? No, he's saving his battery. Legend, though, is not hanging around. He's going to pass the kickstart, which he needed to do if he has any hope of keeping within 3 seconds to Marky. But Marky now is going to put the pedal to the metal. He's going to use all of his battery, all of the power that Honda V6 can give him, and he blasts around Marsky. Marsky doesn't even fight it. Marsky's already 3/10 back before the time they hit the braking zone. Marsky, I don't think he's going to be out on track for much longer because he will be on those old hard tyres. He might stay out just to get a bit of DRS, or it looks like he's already heading straight for the pit lane. Is Marsky. Into the pits is the Fly driver, the last of those to pit. Knowsley coming in as well, so everyone in this race will have now pitted at least once. Marky now leads by 3.5 seconds over Legend. Kamara Racer back into third. Coupe up into fourth. He has used that undercut very well, but there are cars behind him on much fresher tyres, and they are headed by the house of Equaz, who is the championship leader and has proven time and time again that he is a quick pair of hands. Critically, however, Jinnah has caught up, and not only that, but Reflection is just about slipped outside of DRS range. Reflection now on those tyres that double the age of Justifies. He is out of DRS range, and if he doesn't get back into it by the second sector of this lap, he is going to be a sitting duck. Jinnah will be happy to see that the Mercedes is, well, not only running wide, but picking up penalties, but that he's fallen off. But he hasn't quite fallen off enough because he's got back in. Justifies had a bit of bad exit on the final sector. Kiki sets first lap of the race on his fresh hard tyres. But that won't be much for him, considering he's down in 19th. Reflection now has an errant Jinnah. He is an angry Jinnah. He has a quick Jinnah behind him on those medium tyres. Jinnah now in the DRS train. He needs to start making moves, and he might be making moves very quickly, because although they're going to have DRS, Jinnah has much quicker tyres, much quicker, fresher tyres than Reflection, but Reflection has DRS. That is enough to hold Jinnah off for the time being. Jinnah, that was definitely a warning for the Williams driver. That's going to really affect him as he on the run down to the last corner. He won't be anywhere near the Mercedes to get the move done, but Reflection is being dropped. Reflection is being dropped, and Reflection now as Jinnah goes to the inside, makes a last minute lunge, tries to sell the dummy, gets it done though, nice, keeps it clean, tight to the left hand side. Gonna try and outpower him, but Reflection has DRS, so he's going to power back past the Mercedes as Coupe has pitted again. That is not a surprise at all. Coupe back into the pits for a new set of what I assume will be the medium tyres. We'll have a look. That's a new set of hards, so he's gone for the tyre set, and he's going to have some great pace to the end of this race. Jinnah has passed Reflection though. Jinnah has got him. He's got him. He got Kamara Racer, and that is Jinnah up to P6. Unconventional is Jinnah, but that is the way he rolls, and that is how it is coming to him at the moment in this race. He is now just off the back of Equaz and Justify, and he isn't a million miles away from a podium. Speaking of the podium, Kamara Racer is latched himself onto the back of Legend. Although he has a time penalty, he is not letting the Haas go anywhere. So Kamara, I'm sure, will be happy to be a pain in the arse for Legend, even if he doesn't ultimately get that place because of his penalty. Ginger Race picks up more 3-second penalties for track limits. Hopefully Baku isn't this bad for track limits, considering if you see track limits, 9 times out of 10 you are heading for a wall in Baku. So let's hope that Baku isn't too bad for track limits. Kamara though is on the back of Legend. If he thinks he has the pace to pull away from the Haas, I'm sure he will go for a move. If not, he'll be happy to sit in the DRS just to pull away from Justify. Because not only does Justify have a rapid Haas behind him, he has an even quicker Jeddah behind him, and Jeddah is flying. I repeat, Jeddah is flying. Keep an eye out, because it could be Superman, or is it Jeddah in a Williams? Jeddah trying to go round the outside as Equaz trying to go up the inside of Justify. Jeddah can't quite get it done, but he's going to try and get the better drag. He's going to be the slipstream of the Ferrari. Got to make sure Equaz has enough room. He does. Jeddah, though, out of battery, but he does have enough. He's going to go up the inside of the Ferrari. He needs to try and do it now. He has the tyres. Oh, he doesn't quite get it done. Is he going to try to do the traction, what he did? No, I think, I think he had contact there with Equaz. He had a little bit of, I think Equaz was sniffing up his inside, and I think that has thrown Jeddah off. There will be no move for Jeddah into the sector 1, and now will be none for him to save the battery, as we have Balin has pitted again. He's been on those tyres since lap 2, so I'm not surprised that he has elected to pit again. And it is a new set of the medium tyres, which will see him safely to the end of the race, albeit it knocks him to dead last. That is your race leader. He is chilling out front. He does have a 6-second penalty, but at this point, who doesn't? So 3-second penalty. So those are your penalties. 3 seconds for the top 3 with penalties, 6 for Reflection and Vessier, 3 for Mushroom, and 9 for Ginger Age, and 3 for Liam. So those are your penalties. So good job there from drivers that have not got penalties. Bad job from those that did. Jenna still on the back of Justified, but he does now. He has got past Equalize. He does need to get past the fry. He won't do it here because he'll lose out to Justified. Kamara Racer picks up 3 seconds again. That puts his penalties at 6 seconds, which means as things stand, Jinnah will be on the podium. I'm sure he'll be wanting more than that with Jinnah, but I think that's going to be as good as he gets, considering the gap to Markey is pretty large. Jinnah goes around the outside of Justify. He gets the move done, breaks nice and late, gives him lots of room, and will try and get the power out on exit. He will Justify, will have DRS and a lot of battery to burn, but Jinnah had a pretty good exit, and I think it would be pretty stupid to Justify to keep this fight up, considering he has both a penalty and slower tyres. Yeah, Justify is indeed relegated to 5th position. Jinnah up to 4th, and as I said, Kamara Racer now has 6 seconds worth of penalties. So Jinnah at the moment well within that, and Jinnah will be promoted to the podium for the first time I think this season for Jinnah. So he now needs to make good while he can, because those medium tyres are better, but not for that much longer. By the end of this race, the hard tyres, even though they are older, will probably be a slightly better compound for him, but he is already making good, already trying to pull away from Justify, and already within 4 seconds of Kamara Racer, who now needs to hope that Legend gets a wiggle on and pulls him along. Otherwise, Kamara Racer will lose out on the podium here, which is a shame, because he has had a very strong racer in the Alpine. He's been very strong, and I think that was a Legend hitting the wall. I hear the odd thud every now and again, and it is a car hitting a wall, but sometimes the camera doesn't show me, so all I hear is thud, and I'm like, oh, someone's hit the wall. Who knows who? I think it's probably Legend. Legend is 6 seconds off the back of Markey, so Markey can now get another 3 seconds and still be clear of the Haas, but I'm sure he won't be trying that, because it won't be very good. Justify has been dropped by Jinnah, so now Justify and Equaz can continue their battle for P5. Although if Equaz gets past Justify, he can still get in within Kamaro's 6 seconds, and he himself can be promoted up the order further, which I'm sure he'll be happy with, considering he is indeed a championship leader. Marsky gets past Vessier on a lot older tyres, and Marsky well past the Aston Martin. Next up the road for him is Reflection, who's doing extremely well to keep those hard tyres alive after his earlier crash, but I think he's going to be demoted down several positions, because those tyres are not only very old and soon to be very dead, but he also has 6 seconds of penalties to his name. So he's going to, I think, tumble out of this top 10 in a remarkably speedy fashion, which is quite unlike him at the moment, because he's not going to be quick on 14-lap-old hard tyres. Although he is catching up now, he is on the back of, he has kept up with the Equaz and Justify, so there might still be some life in those hard tyres. Yeah, Jinnah now within 2.6 seconds of Kamara Racer, and that is a Kamara Racer who has DRS around every single detection point and can use it 3 times on a lap. With a Legend, so that just shows you the pace Jinnah has. Not only, whilst Kamara has DRS on Legend, he is able to gain. He's gained. The gap was about 4.1 when he got past Justify. It's now down to 2.5. He has slashed the deficit to the Alpine. And the Alpine, I think, is getting a bit of a wind of that. This is the closest that Kamaro's been to the back of Legend for the last few laps. is he going to go for it? We'll wait and see. Camaro, is he going to make a move on Legend? He is going to make a move. So is Camaro thinking that Legend is holding him up? Which, if he is, he now needs to get past the Haas and run away, because if these two start fighting, the Jeddah will be on for second place. Because there is Legend, and there is Jeddah just popping around the corner. And Jeddah with clear track ahead of him and a lot fresher tyres. So Jeddah pushing on, see if he can, because if he can get past Legend, that is for track position, and then he'll just have to stay within Camaro's penalties. So Jeddah is flying out there. He is a one to watch, and we'll keep an eye on him. Marsky as well, as the Legend's got back past Camaro Racer. Not sure what happened there, but Legend back through. And now Jeddah, that gap was 2 seconds. It's now 1.2 seconds. He can smell the Alpine. He can smell Fabio Briatore's cologne. Is he going to get into the DRS on this lap? You see Camaro sliding all over the place. I think he might, I think Jeddah might have done it. Jeddah has done it. Jeddah is within DRS of Legend and Camaro. What can the Williams driver do? He's keep within DRS now. Yes, he's well within DRS. And he will be rapid. He needs to save battery though. He's only on 4%. Cars ahead on a lot better. Is Camaro going to have another go at Legend? I'm not sure what happened to Camaro. He just seemed to back off, really. Not sure what's going to happen. Is he going to go for it? Nope. Someone who's going for it is Marsky, who does get past Reflection. Reflection on laps, tyres that are 3 times the age of Marsky's, which I think is remarkably impressive as well. Although Reflection will have DRS, but I don't think it'll be in his best interest to fight this one, because he doesn't really have much actually to fight it with, and he has less tyres, even less of tyres to fight this with. Reflection now looking back to Vessier, Knowlesy and Coupe as well. These guys are going to be the main threats for him at the moment. Jeddah needs to start saving battery, because his competitor in front of him, Camaro, who he will need to get past if he wants to have a go for P2, has a lot more battery than him, and he will have DRS on the Haas. So unless Jeddah goes for it in an unconventional part of the track, he is going to need a lot more battery than he currently has to get past the Alpine. Justify also is in the frame, but he would need these 3 to start fighting. But we have seen a 3-car pile up in this race, so it's not without the realms of possibility, to be honest. See Justify Nekwas on the podium, although Marsky is closing onto the back of his teammate. Justify has 3 seconds worth of penalties. Marsky, as things stand, is about 3.2 behind his teammate. So Marsky got a little bit of time to find if he wants to get within his teammate's 3 seconds. Here we go, on to the end of lap 22. This race has flown by, and we still have one more to go after it. Camaro Racer, they say the best form of defense is a swift offense, and he goes right round the Haas. Is Jeddah going to have a little looky? No, Jeddah is not going to have a little looky. To be fair, if Camaro is to defend from Jeddah, he has to get past Legend, because if he sits behind not using battery, Jeddah will, and that is not going to do him any good. Legend though, is he going to go back through? He is. Legend going to go back through. These two could be inadvertently working together to try and frustrate the attempts of Jeddah. Is Jeddah going to try and get the better exit out of turn 2? He's used it a couple of times this race. He did. He's tried it, but the cars ahead were too far ahead to make any use of it. So back into none they will go on to lap 23 of 25. We have after this 2 more laps, 2 more attempts at every corner, 2 more attempts at every DRS zone for Jeddah there to try and beat what will currently be P3. P2 is on the table, it is possible, and he is looking at his backside. He can see the Haas of NSR Legend, who is just up the road. He's just a little bit out of touch, and hello, is that Justify? It is Justify. He may have a 3-second penalty, but he is still not out of it either. He's closing in, and he will benefit from Camaro's 6-second penalty as well. Camaro Racer, fantastic race that he has had. That 6 seconds is going to bite him badly, because he's going to fall behind Jeddah, behind Justify, behind Equaz, and potentially even behind Marsky, who's closing in on them, and even Reflection, although he does have 6 seconds of himself, so let's not count Reflection in that. Jeddah though, Jeddah is all over the back of the Alpine. He's technically I think in a quicker car as well, which I'm sure will be frustrating him even more, but he needs a good run, and he's got a good run. He's got a fantastic run. The Alpine isn't burning anymore. Can Jeddah get it done? Jeddah, is he going to go left? Is he going to go right? He goes to the right hand side. He can't quite get it done. Is he going to try and do the old switcheroo? Yes, he is. He's got a smooth exit. Camaro's got a bit more battery to play with. Legend also has a bit more battery. They all have DRS. Knowlesy has passed Vessier. Vessier on very old medium tyres. Camaro stays behind. Penultimate lap of the race. Jinnah's got to start being creative. Jinnah has got to start learning because he does not have much more time, and if he wants P2, he needs to move on. If he's happy with P3, he doesn't have to do anything. But if he wants P2, he needs to get past this Alpine and the Haas. 2 cars, 2 laps, plausible, yes. Possible, yes. Can it happen? You'll have to see, because Jinnah has another car to get through. If Jinnah's smart, he will save through here. He's not smart. He's using overtake. I think Kamara saw that one coming because Kamara is out of none himself. They're all flashing, coming into the hairpin. You can see the 3 guys behind, Justify, Ekwaz and Marvsky. So that these guys fighting for the podiums are soon to be joined by 3 more who I'm sure will be more than happy to pick up the pieces should there be a calamitous crash. They will be more than happy to pick it all up. Jinnah still on the back of Justify, the 2nd, 3rd and 4th, separated by less than a second. Jinnah's had another fantastic exit, as you'd expect on those tyres. But Kamara has the legs, Kamara has the battery, Kamara crucially has the DRS, and there's nothing Jinnah can do. Lap after lap, corner after corner, he is frustrated by the fact that he's stuck in a DRS train. But does he have the space to get the battery now? He does have the battery. For once, he has the surplus. For once, he has the advantage. Can he get the move done? No, he's saving already. He wants to get a move done into turn 1, or does he? Or does he? He's gone for it. He has he's gone for it as Jinnah. I think Kamara was caught completely off guard there because he went very wide into the final corner. And it is Jinnah who finally gets up to P3. He now has to get past the legend this lap to win, to come second. And you can see behind, they're still fighting because Ekwaz and Marvsky are fighting for track position. Neither have penalties. If one can beat the other, then they are pretty much good. I mean, if Justify wants to, he can lift himself out of this. He can let Ekwaz and Marvsky go. He's going to lose positions anyway because he has a penalty. Just if he deprives Ekwaz of the DRS, then his teammate has a solid chance of getting through. Kamara Racer, I think tyres might have hit the cliff because he has fallen right off the back of Jinnah. He's more closer to Justify than he is to Jinnah, and Jinnah only passed him a sector and a bit to go. So Kamara Racer down to P4. He's had a fantastic race. He's going to be undone though by these penalties. A lot of penalties here in Saudi Arabia. People struggling. We had a massive calamitous crash between the top 3 drivers, but it is going to be another new winner here in 100%. I want to keep an eye on Jinnah, but Jinnah is struggling himself. Those times will probably also hit the cliff. Legend is making a little bit of an escape here. Is NSR Legend. He is getting away. Jinnah, I don't think he's going to have the ability to get past his Haas. No, he's not. Jinnah's had a horrific run around these last 3 corners. Someone who hasn't had a horrific one, we haven't spoken about him much because he has just disappeared. The 3 cars in front of him, including his teammate, came together. Markey picked up the pieces and he has not looked back since. Markey wins here in Saudi Arabia, the first part of our double bill. Legend is going to come home in second. He's going to hold off Jinnah. Jinnah's time, I think, gave up the ghost there. Ginger Rage has done a Latifi. He's got himself in the wall. He's beached himself. Ginger Rage has retired. So Jinnah third, Ekwaz fourth. Fantastic job there from the Hash drivers. Marvsky fifth, Justify sixth. Kamara Racer down to seventh. Unfortunate for him. He was so quick this evening. Coop P8. He made that 2-stop work. And obviously ninth, Reflection makes 20 laps on the hard tyres. Just about work. That front right looks horrible. Reflection does get salvage a top 10 finish. 38 11th. Lewis Riley 12th. Kiki 13th. Vintage comes home 14th. CS Mushroom 15th. Balin 16th. Jay Hings 17th. And Liam will be the last one to finish the race in 18th. As Liam crosses the line. That is the end of your first of 2 builds. Don't go anywhere, folks, because if you enjoyed Saudi Arabia, we have Baku still to come. Liam last of the finishers. Unfortunately, something happened to Sean there on the last lap. I'm not sure what. What I really want to know is what the hell happened to the top 3, because they decided to make love to each other, and it didn't result in a baby. It resulted in the almightiest of almightiest pile-ups. But there is your winner, a very well-deserved winner, an incredible winner, Markey. There's nothing I think I can say here that he deserves every accolade there, because he was absolutely rapid, and he deserves the plaudits here for his win. Won by country mile. He won by 7 seconds, even with a 3-second time penalty. So it is indeed Marvsky who wins from Legend, from Jinnah. Your top 3. Ekwaz came home 4th to extend his championship lead over his nearest championship rival Racing, who is Reflection. But I am sure Reflection will be looking to bounce back as best he can. I never seem to get results, so hopefully someone can get the results for everyone. So that is the end of the double bill. I am going to quickly take a quick break and hydrate because we have another race to come. Yep, I'm going to go for a quick break. Do not go anywhere there, folks, because we have another part to go. We have Baku, and we'll hopefully be getting into it very shortly. Don't go anywhere, folks. There's more to come. Hello everybody, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are back. We have had our little break. I hope you've had a nice quick pee break. I hope you've had a nice cup of tea or quick drink of whatever you need. As Jenna has said, it is very sweaty. I get very warm commentating. I get very dehydrated commentating, because I'm talking a lot. But we are back, and we are in for... we're here for Baku. As I said, this is going to be based purely on championship order. So I will tell you now, I hope you're all listening acutely. Yes, do not forget your setups, people. Okie dokie. So on pole will be Equaz. In second, it's supposed to be R2 Beat. It might be the reserve. In third will be Reflection. Marsky will be fourth. Kiki fifth. Lucas Percy sixth. Vessier seventh. Coop eighth. Brian Racer 9th, and Mushroom 10th. Legend will be 11th, but if that race is anything to go by, he will shoot up the order. Knowsley will be 12th, Jinner 13th, Ginger Rage 14th, Hungry Stars 15th, Hings will be 17th. Sorry, not Hungry Stars. The reserve will be in 15th, J Hings 16th, Vintage 17th, Justify 18th, the Mercedes reserve of Liam 19th, and Marquis, who just dominated Saudi Arabia, will start dead last. Talk about going from high to low, I guess. Wow. That's going to be rough for him. So that is going to be your odd thing. They're not readying up yet because we have obviously plenty to get setups on before we go back into it for Baku. Just to remind you, next week's race, while we wait for the drivers to get ready, next weekend we will be racing at Bahrain with preset setups only. Oh dear lord, that's going to be painful. So the drivers won't be able to use any of their own setups. They'll have to pick a setup from 1 to 5, the game's base setup. I'm sure they'll change the tyre pressures though, because otherwise that's going to be painful as all hell. Maybe that's the point though. So Bahrain next week, 30th of July, do not miss it. And then after that it will be Spain. I will unfortunately not be here for Spain. I'm sure you'll all be very sad to be the fact that I won't be here. So Spain and is going to be on the 6th. So those Bahrain and Spain are your next two races after tonight. I'm on holiday in Greece, so I cannot commentate or do anything really because I won't have a PlayStation, an Elgato, or a laptop with me. So you'll all miss me, I am sure. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Indeed, Knowsley. Here we go, indeed. For round 2 of tonight's double header, Baku. Love Baku. Baku's very difficult to gauge how good it is because the first race was boring. 2017 was a complete craziness. So was 18. 19 was boring. 21 was a craziness. 22 was exciting and then boring. 23 was boring. 24 was okay. 24 was okay, to be fair. 24 wasn't bad because we had a fight for the lead. So Baku, yeah, sometimes it's fantastic and sometimes it throws up stinkers, but this is ALR. We don't throw up stinkers, we throw up gems, diamonds of the purest fashion. So fantastic. There, we're just waiting for the drivers to ready up. We are waiting 5 minutes before waiting up. Okie dokie then. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It's a bit premature then, Knowsley, because we've got another 3 minutes before we can even ready up. Oh, no, they've readied up. Okay then. Lewis and Riley's left the session. I'm not sure if that's anything to do with it, but we will wait and see. Here you go. Oh, it's marking up. I thought it was championship order, or is it race order? Did I read that wrong? Oh, but reversed. So it's championship order, but reversed. So Markey, who just won the previous race in dominant fashion, is back on pole because he was last in the championship. So can Markey make it from 2 from 2? Potentially, because Vintage is second. The reserves are starting at the back, so there you go. I should really read the briefs before I talk again. So Markey, who just dominated it, could be in a position to dominate it again. Vintage P2, J Hings P3. So was Markey pulling the ultimate sandbagging, not scoring any points until his race win, therefore making it a back-to-back win and putting himself in the championship hunt? Maybe. We will wait and see as they make their way into the castle section. Looks all clear sunny-wise for now. So no rain at the moment, at least I can see. I haven't been told there's going to be rain. But this is ALR, and they're very good at tomorrow, and how they all got themselves disqualified. They are going to be slow as hell. So, Marky on pole on mediums, Vintage on the front row on hards, Jay Hings mediums, Justify hards. So we have medium, hard, Ginger Age and Jenna for row 3, they are all both on mediums. Novelty P7 hard, Legend P8 medium, Mushroom P9 hard, Kamara, Coop and Lucas are all on mediums, and then Vessia, Kiki, Marsky, Reflection all on hards. Airquartz has gone medium, Liam, Balin and Lewis are all on the hard tyres. Predictions for safety car. Yes, and lap 6. So the medium, I think it'll be a medium runner. A medium runner will crash because they don't have as much grip on their medium tyres after about 6 laps, and then there'll be a safety car. People are going to try and pick the hards to try and make a one-stop work, like Reflection did in Saudi Arabia, and the other hard runners will pit for mediums. They'll then pit again for another set of mediums around lap like 18 or 19, and then there'll be a race to see who wins first. Will it be a dead tyres, or will it be a 2-stop? So we wait and see. I don't know. I've never done Baku, so I don't know what the strategy is. Pirelli has not told us, which is very kind of them. Marky has lined up, Vintage has lined up alongside him. Hings 3rd, Justify 4th, Ginger Age 5th, Jenna 6th, Novelty 7th, Legend 8th, Mushroom 9th, Kamara, Coop, Lucas Percy 13th, Vessia, 14th Kiki, 15th Marsky, 16th Reflection, 17th Equaz, 18th Liam, 19th Balant, and 20th is Lewis O'Reilly. He's not racing though. There is your strategies. Those are the 5 red lights, and we are underway in Baku for round 2 of tonight, and it is a good start there from Marky. You'd expect so on the medium tyres. He's not going to be challenged into turn 1, as that is a very deep Aston Martin. They all get through in one piece. They might have done, yes, I can all see no cars are backwards. A lot of jockeying for position though. Marky P2, Vintage has somehow Marky P1, Vintage held on somehow to P2, Jenna P3, Legend P4, Justify already down to P5. They're all jockeying for position on lap 1. Hings, oh, he's been punted by Ginger Rage, by Mushroom, no Ginger Rage. Oh, Sean, you sausage. Oh, Jay Hings has just been absolutely punted. Oh, there's more yellow flags. Oh, dear Lord, what's happening? There, not more yellow flags, just people still jockeying for position. Ginger Rage there, I think he forgot what brake pedal is, because he just sent things to Narnia, and I would not be surprised if that is a slap on the face for a penalty there for Ginger Rage, because I don't think he's going to look back on that with much pride. His Vintage already lost a couple of positions. His Vintage had an issue. Vintage has clipped the wall. Vintage has been clipped into a wall nearly, as they're still hitting each other through the casting section. Vintage missing a bit of front wing, and that is not going to do his car any good at the streets of Baku. He's going to get passed here by Mushroom, as it looks like he has to rejoin the session. Vintage is all good. Mushroom is going to stay behind, but probably not for long. There is your strategy, hard to lap 15. Wow. So it is Marky out front, who's really pulled a second on Jenna, who himself is a second tier of Legend, who is less. For a second, back to Lucas Percy. Lucas Percy looking for revenge after a disappointing Saudi Arabia, which he was leading until he span and then didn't ghost. That's it, Castle. You don't have much faith in our 100% link, which sometimes can be warranted, to be honest. Coop gets past Legend, and Mushroom is still going to try to get past Vintage. Justified there as well. Mushroom does get past Vintage. No, they're squeezing each other, and Vintage has been overtaken by Coop, and Vintage has also got more brake pedals. That was a hefty thwack. That might be rear wing damage, if that's possible. That was a nasty thwack, and Vintage down to last. We have Kamara being passed by Bessier. Chaos, as always, at Baku here in ALR. We can't have a Baku race without about 4 different people trying to kill each other. Marky's had a horrific sector 1 because Jenna is now nearly within DRS range. Although Jenna is burning and Marky isn't, so that could be partially to explain. Justify has a massive train of cars behind him because he is the first of the hard runners, and the hard runners are not having much luck to see. The understeer through this part of the track is going to struggle a lot on hard tyres until they get up to temperature, which, as is Baku, and there's not a lot of long corners to warrant your tyres, you aren't really able to. The main way you warm up tyres at Baku is by is basically using brake temperature. Because you brake so heavily and often here at Baku that the temperature from the brakes basically gives you gives you heat, and Markey, who was the second clear this time last lap, is now battling to stay ahead. Jenna only 6 tenths back, and Legend only 3 tenths behind him. Percy only 5 tenths behind him. We have a top 4 that is broken away from 5th place. Where have I seen this one before? Cough, Saudi Arabia. So DRS is enabled for the first time. Jenna is out of battery. Legend doesn't have much of it, and Percy's there or thereabouts. Jenna heads into turn 1. So here are the top 4. Markey not really pulling away at the moment as he did in Saudi Arabia, but then again he didn't really pull away until he took the lead of the race. Coop has passed Justify on those medium tyres. Justify gives the seat a bit of a loving nudge. Vintage gets 10 seconds spinning in the pit lane. That is going to go down well. He does finally get off his tyres and changes that front wing. Not surprised, considering he did do a flick spin and probably turn those tyres into the temperature of the sun. Is that a move from Lucas Percy? It is up the inside of Legend. Legend will have the inside for the exit, but Percy has much better traction, and Percy is driving like a man possessed. He wants to make up that. He wants to make up those positions. He wants to get back up. He wants to win the win that he should have had in Saudi Arabia, because that was his win. Well, until he made a mistake. So to be fair, he's only got himself to blame. But he is flying through past the Legend and up into 3rd. Jenna is his next target as they crest the brow of the hill. Now they will begin the downhill plunge into the final sector of the track. A lot of elevation change here in Baku, which, considering it is a street circuit, is mightily impressive. Because you have street circuits like here in Monaco, which have massive elevation changes, and then you have somewhere like Singapore, where you don't even change elevation. You barely change elevation at all. There's probably bigger potholes in the UK than there is elevation at somewhere like Singapore. Lucas Percy, though, he's had a good run. Jenna had a pretty poor exit out the final corner, and he's quite low on battery again. This will give Lucas Percy the chance, but is Percy going to get 2, 4, 1 by the time we hit lap 4? Lucas Percy takes 2nd place in Baku and into the podium position. He's now got 1 car ahead of him. Oh, crikey, that's a lot of position changes. That is a gaggle of cars. Marsky and Vessier fighting. Balin and Camaro racer. Kiki, that is Knowlesy in the pits after 4 laps on, or 3 laps on his hards. That's going to be for a front wing change, because you wouldn't pit that early for a scheduled pit stop. It is for a front wing change. Liam as well into the pits again for a front wing change. People are losing their front wings like no tomorrow. Looks like he's taking the lead, or has he? Because here comes Markey. Markey up the inside, but he's got a bit cooked it a wee bit. And the yellow flag for, who's that for? Because the yellow flag going to fight for the lead. Percy just about gets it the way he got Legend. Yellow flag for Camaro. Camaro racer has gone into the barrier. I think he's missing his M plate. He's missing both M plates actually. So that's probably actually still quite a well balanced Alpine, to be honest, because he's got the same amount of downforce on both sides of the front wing, which is not very much at all. Lucas Percy, though, has flown through these guys and is up into the lead. Markey there has been beaten to his own game by Lucas Percy. Now Lucas Percy needs to run down the road as quickly as he can. Hello, okay, I'm not exactly sure what's happened here, because now it's gone from a 4-horse race to a 7-horse race. And Justify in the fly is the leader of the hard runners. So I'm not quite sure. I think the leaders are fighting so hard that the drift of the grid has pretty much caught back up to them. So that is mightily impressive. We have a lovely helicopter shot of Justify onto the straight, which isn't the straight, but if it was a straight, is the longest straight in Formula 1. It is the longest, I think, flat out part of any track on the F1 calendar in terms of just pure length. If you're at full speed from pretty much the entire sector 3. So it's all about downforce, as Markey, no, still behind Lucas Percy. No moves being made yet, although he's pretty close to the kick Sauber. Although he's got Jenna all over his posterior, so he's got to be careful as well. Markey's going to be too far back to make a move here on Lucas Percy, but that doesn't matter because he has to keep up. What he has to do is Camaro has trundled back into the pits very slowly. That's unfortunate for him as he gets 10 seconds still trundled into the pits, caught the yellow flag and still got 10 seconds, and that is a pit switch for Camaro racer. He is done for the evening, and the stewards will be getting a point with his licence for that. Stewards have a very dim view of pitting quick. In ALR we always say go to the end, you never know what's going to happen. Camaro racer could not get that done. Apologies if you hear sirens in the background. I do live in a war zone, also known as the city of Coventry. So yeah, it is what it is. But in a couple of weeks' time, though, I am moving to a new place where I will have literally, hopefully, minimal sounds. Hopefully it's nice and quiet. Well, it will be nice and quiet. I hope that I'm living with my family. My family can be extravagantly loud, shall we say. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Markey is keeping up with Lucas Percy just about. As I say that, he's lost 2 tenths going through turn 15. Has he got wing damage? No, he's got a full front wing there. Good exit though from him. Jeddah is at risk of falling out of DRS range. Markey is out of DRS range of Lucas Percy. He has lost out on the kick salver, but importantly, the protection point isn't until there, but he's still well out of it, even with all that. He's running a little bit less downforce. Is Markey Legend has passed Jeddah. Jeddah is already pitting now. Is that a scheduled or unscheduled pit stop? I can't see if he has wing damage. Justified up to P6. He is just about looking. He's holding back a bit. Is old justified. His tyres are better. Now Jeddah, is this a scheduled pit stop? Yeah, it looks like it is. Onto a new set of hard tyres, and he's gone straight back out. He's only done 5 laps on his mediums, and the game said you need to do at least 15 on hards. Jay Hings is that is for a new front wing. So Jeddah, has he got wing damage? If he does, it is not showing on the car. Potentially Jeddah, well, he's definitely going for a 2-stop if he's done 5 laps on mediums. I mean, he could try Reflection strategy, but Reflection had 95% on his front tyres by the end of the race. And to be honest, I'm very surprised it didn't go kaboom, to be honest. For Jeddah, into the pits, Jeddah going to go for the 2-stop, and he is committed to that 2-stop early. To be fair, he can do 10 laps on these hards, and if there's another set of hards, he'll do another 10 laps on those. So to be fair, he's timed it pretty well. And he does have a lot of clear track ahead of him, but of course he's going to catch up eventually to the DRS train. But that won't be probably hoping for him for another 3 or 4 laps, so he can use these fresh tyres to his advantage. Out front, Lucas Percy stretches his legs a bit. Gap is 1.6 seconds to Markey. Markey going to keep an eye out now on Legend in the Haas Equaz, our championship leader, the guy who started not quite dead last, but last of the full-time runners, is up 12 positions in 6 laps. So Equaz, as always, although to be fair, he didn't qualify badly. He was put there by the rules tonight, but he has already raised up to P5. As Lucas Percy is British, so these is this really the length the medium tyres will go for? Wow, that is crazy short time. I did not think they would go. I thought they'd go longer, to be honest, but 6 laps, Lucas Percy, unless he's responding to Jeddah, but that is pretty much committing him to a 2-stop strategy. Where's he going to be in relation to the Williams? I think he's going to be clear of Jeddah. So Jinnah's undercut not quite worked. There is the kick salver, but initially the quick salver. Oh, I say he's going to come up behind Ginger Rage. No, he's not. Lucas Percy said no, I ain't coming up behind Ginger Rage, and he even got DRS for good measure. So Ginger Rage already weaving, trying to get some temperature into those conditions. Lucas Percy weaving, to try and get some temperature into his tyres. Nothing doing for him there, but he will now trudge up the road, hoping to be onto the back of Lewis O'Reilly in a few laps' time. Of course, if he gets stuck behind Lewis, he'll get into a bit of a train behind Reflection, who has not made the ground he would have hoped. He's up some positions, but most of the positions are gained from those who have had to pit because of wing damage. Reflection hoping to fight for this title, not how he would have wanted to do it in Saudi Arabia. Balance, I think, very deep there. A nice shot there over the crowds here. I'd love to visit Baku. I'd love to do the Baku Grand Prix. Just no idea how I'm going to get to it. Because, funny enough, they don't really do direct flights to Azerbaijan from the UK. And if they do, they're very expensive because no one really goes to Azerbaijan from the UK. Shockingly, Jeddah has got past Junior Gervais, so he's got cleared one important target. Any of their leaders are going to pit. Look to Legend now, who has passed Markey and is running away with it a bit. Markey not having the pace he had in Saudi Arabia. Are these guys, any of these guys are going to pit? Markey will have DRS. Doesn't matter because he's going to go around his outside. Doesn't matter because Markey's pitting as well. So is Markey in the pits. Going to flag that Ginger Rage. Ginger Rage is going to take me a safety car. It is a safety car. Yes, there's Bert Marlander. He's trundling down the pit lane, and Lucas Percy has just hit his head against the wall. Because that is the one thing he did not want for the safety car, to give people free pit stops. Now that is going to really throw a cat amongst the pigeons, because if you're on the hard tyres, you have to stay out. Because, well, you're not going to make mediums last, because most of the medium runners are pitting after 6 laps. So if you have another set of hards, you'll have to go on to them. But if you only have 2 sets of mediums, yeah, pretty stuff to be honest. Because if you pit now, you have to do 9 laps of them, of which 3 around the safety car, granted. But yeah, that is going to be interesting. But mind in the Aston Martin letting all these guys go. So Cooper and Eckroyd will definitely pit. This is going to benefit those two massively because they have plenty of room, they have plenty of time, and they also have tyres that we need pitting onto. The cars we need to look for are Justify and Marsky and those behind. You would have to think going onto new tyres, it's just that if they have 2 sets of mediums, they are done for. And if they have another set of hards to go onto, great, but it still puts them onto a 2-stop strategy when those around them will now possibly try and make the 1-stop work, use a safety car to save some tyre life. But again, if the tyre wear isn't high, people make it out to be only 6 laps on mediums. You wouldn't think hard to do more than 12 or 13 before they really hit a cliff. And if you don't want, if you don't want your tyres to hit a cliff, there's one track you definitely don't want them to hit the cliff at, and that is Baku. Because if your tyres go, you will not only be slow as hell, you will be at risk of putting yourself into a wall. And we've already seen several drivers do that. We saw Ginger Rage has taken himself out of the running. We've seen Kamara Racer take himself out of the running, although he pit and quit. We've seen about 4 cars pit for new front wings. So Liam's getting several drivers for speeding under safety car. Not sure what Liam's doing. He's about to get disqualified at this rate. Yep, there you go. Just keep Eckroyd in. Marsky's coming in. Just fight sticking it out though. So is Vestiaire. Reflection coming in. Lewis O'Reilly coming. Oh, that's a late call, and he's in the wall. That such a late call. Lewis O'Reilly puts it into the wall. So Lucas Presley will hold on to his lead, really enough of an undercut to do it, and Jenna will pop herself up into P2. So that's actually still hasn't worked out for these guys. The safety car didn't quite save their behinds. But Justify and Vestiaire, neither of whom have pitted, they will want to go long. This will help them do a 1-stop, but they will be incredibly vulnerable on the restart. Will be available safety car because the field is still quite spread out. Justify is heading towards the end of sector 2. Vintage is just through turn 2, so this will be quite a long safety car given the length of the Baku City circuit. These guys will sit at the back will have the impact pit and quit. Wrong track for this starting, good idea. Yeah, I think so, because I think the drivers who are at the front, apart from Markey, they've become pretty much mobile chicanes to the cars behind. At a track like this, you do, and you have had quite a few calamitous accidents. Sean, if you're out there, if you're not too busy hanging your head in shame after that collision with Jay Hings early on, yeah, I think you need a slightly wider track for this. This would be a great track for something like Silverstone or Austria. This would be a great idea, but I think Baku, great concept, but wrong track, very much so. I agree with you there, Vintage. Although, how you're texting and driving, incredible. So they've got to be out for at least one more. That would be Vintage still a country mile away from the back of the field. The field going through turn 2, he's even down onto the start-finish straight yet. So Vintage pushing on, so we expect Lucas Percy and Ginna to fly by Justify and Vestiaire there. This would have been just about within the 1-stop. The 1-stop is hard, supposed to do 15 laps. You probably would be taking your hard tyres. You pick now for hards on the mediums, though the mediums did seem to have quite high tyre wear. That's the issue for Vintage. He's driving around at full speed. He's going to have plenty of heat in his tyres. He's going to have a lot more tyre wear than the cars around him because he's driving around obviously at racing speed. So the pros and cons of this. Vintage now catching up to the back of the trailer, so it could be in safe about this lap. because Knowsley has just about caught up. He's in the back of the train. This Mushroom isn't that far behind him, and Vintage isn't that far behind Mushroom. So, and this is the slight part of the track, yeah. So Knowsley onto the back of the train, and I expect Serious Mushroom to join the club very shortly in Vintage. We will probably go racing here in Baku, ALR double header tonight, double header bill. We will go racing again, end of lap 10. For what was known to be an exciting Baku race. We have split strategies. We have drivers who have to pit again, drivers who have not yet pit at all, and drivers who are potentially doing a two-stop strategy. Some will be doing one, some will be trying two, so this is going to be an exciting race. I don't know why Knowsley's back off the field, because they've got coming in this lap, so we better get back onto it pretty quickly. So Justify becomes the head of the train. He is now Bert Meinlander. He's just in a Ferrari instead of an Aston Martin. So, Vettier and Justify both have not pitted. Justify's going to want to leave this to the last possible minute, because of course he's going to want to not give the cars behind the slipstream, which led to the Marsky already trying to race each other, even though it still hasn't actually got underway. Justify is, though, he has put his foot to the floor. Unfortunately for him, though, Vettier has very much rated him like a book, and in fact Justify is still in none, but Vettier can't pass him until now. Now we get, oh, whoa, no, Lucas Percy storming around the outside has wiped out the two cars who hadn't yet pitted. I think they were caught off guard by the fact that Justify was still in none, and Vettier couldn't overtake until the safety car line, and that has just completely wiped Justify and Vettier out of the race. Lucas Percy came in there like a steaming bullet train, and he has annihilated them. Equaz and got past Coop. Markey looking to make a huge advantage of these fresh medium tyres while he can, because he's not on the ideal strategy. Vettier is missing a front wing. It's got Marsky up his inside. He's going to be slow as hell through the castle section. He's got no front wingers. Balin goes for a lunge up the inside and spins Marsky for good measure. Marsky is now going to be stuck, and Marsky is back to last. So this is going to end in tears. This is going to end in tears, because we have a driver at the head of this train who has pretty much no downforce. He's made it through the castle section somehow. Baku never failed to disappoint here. He's made it through, but he's going to have to be careful, because the next corner here, downhill braking zone, is quite the medium speed corner, but with less downforce. He's got to be very careful. Balin, oh no, to be fair, Vettier did it quite well. Justify, I think, also has wing. Yeah, he does have wing damage. Not surprised there. He was sideswiped. So these two, they stuck it out. They thought they could try a different strategy. Sadly for them, Lucas Percy is has ruined that like a freight train. He just stormed around the inside, and he killed two people. To be frank, he has pretty much just wiped two people clean off. DRS will be enabled after the safety car period. Balin on the back of Vettier. Vettier shows us pit. Vettier's not going to pit. Oh dear God. Vettier is going to have him climb up his inside. He has to have one, because otherwise he's going to be a... Balin has struggled to get through, hit past him there, though Vettier is missing half a front wing, more or less. He has more than half a front wing, but that's not much. Kiki up the inside of Balin. While he follows them through, Kiki now probably going to go for the move on Vettier. He has to, because Vettier is holding his up like no tomorrow. They're already 6 seconds off the back of the top 6, and this is... Oh no. Oh dear Lord. Oh no, that was well, good job there, Balin. You ooh, yeah, that is quite a move. Justify has come out of the pit lane and immediately gone straight on, so clearly getting these on cold tyres. Lucas Percy has got a 1.7 second gap to Jeddah, who has got Equaz on his tail, and now if this is real life, we have a very broken front right suspension, felt like a cloud on the wall. Dearing me, that was my top 10 moments before disaster. Looking back and seeing the McLaren deciding to try and go for 3 moves into one corner, and Kiki was just minding his own business going into turn 3, and well, he paid the price by now having less than half a front wing. ALR, good old ALR, Baku. It's a match made in hell. Reflection's got past Vestiaire. I'm surprised Vestiaire hasn't pitted, but I guess if he wants to do the one stop, then he's going to try and hold up for as long as he can. Up the inside goes Vestiaire. He's still fighting people with half a front wing. If this was real life, there'd be so many black and orange flags for him to pit that you think that someone didn't know the flag of Japan. His teammate goes up the inside. He's still fighting it. I mean, you know, you got to fight with Vestiaire. He's just not fighting very smart. Markey's been passed by Legend. Markey obviously on those tyres. Now for the top 5, or top 6, I should say, these whole incidents help in the regard that they now have they have much bigger gaps in the cars behind. So if they want to pit, they should hypothetically have less traffic. On the other hand, there are now about 6 cars all on top of each other because Vestiaire refused to pit and change his front wing. So yeah, that's so much fun. So Marsky gets past the vintage, and that was serious mush, nearly putting his car in the wall. That was probably not a nice exit there for the mushy. Markey falling off the back of the leaders. That's because his medium tyres are already pretty dead. But he's got to keep going for at least another 3 more laps if he wants to pit and make a 2-stop work, because pitting now, the offset won't be that much considering we had a few laps under safety car. And I'm not really because we have some more. Jeddah is being overtaken by Equaz. Jeddah been on those tyres a while. Equaz takes P2, so the championship leader up into second, 3.6 behind Lucas Percy. Can he reel in the kick Sauber, or does Lucas Percy have this in the bag? We'll wait and see. That is going to be the main storyline tonight. So Jeddah, oh, he's tagged the wall. He's fun. Good. Yeah, good. So that's Jeddah out of the hunt for the podium. He is gone. Markey will now inherit some positions. These guys are starting to string out a bit. Lucas Percy still though running away with it. So the field spread out and not spread out. Top 5 have spread out a bit, and then you've got this massive gaggle of cars behind Lewis, which if you were to pit into, okay, you could get past the likes of Hings and Marsky and Vestiaire without too much issue, especially Vestiaire with half a front wing. But once you get into the back of Knowlesley, then you've got Reflection and Balin and then Lewis, you're not going to get through them very quickly enough to make a 2-stop work, whether that be with an undercut or with just trying to catch cars on older tyres who don't pit again. So, yeah. Unfortunate there for these guys, but that is the way it is. That is Baku for you. You're right there, White Shadow. You've got to laugh or you'll cry at Baku because it bites back. This is not a forgiving circuit. We haven't had any forgiving circuits tonight, to be honest. And the drivers, of course, will be now bordering on nearly, well, at least an hour and a quarter of racing, so they will be tired. They will be starting to lose concentration. And the only place worse than Baku to lose concentration would be Monaco. But thankfully we're not visiting the Principality this year, which I think is a shame because I would love to race Monaco. But I only think that because I think it's great fun with, like, it's really strategic, especially with the forced 2-stop on this year's game. That, unlike real life, might actually yield an exciting race, but obviously... So, Mushamad's pitted onto soft tyres. That is not going to get him to the end of the race. And he's still missing... No, he's still got full front wing. He's still putting away from Equaz. Equaz not closing the gap, but he's put away from Coop. Legend in the other half. He'll be looking to get it a little bit closer. Can they make it a double half podium? Percy, though, streaking away, you know, you think he probably should have won in Saudi Arabia. He's definitely in with a shout, no doubt about that, until he lost it. This could be a redemption arc in one night for the Kick Sauber driver. Equaz doing what Equaz does best, racing like no tomorrow, and he's going to have a very, very healthy lead in this championship, considering his closest championship rival isn't racing tonight, and his other championship rival is in 7th currently and has to pit again for a new set of tyres before the end of this race, because his tyres are not making it to the end. So Equaz on course to, whilst not make it not win tonight, he's on course to make a massive leap in the standings. But there's still a long way to go in this race. There's still a long way to go in this championship, and we have so many wildcards still to come for these drivers. So many wildcards to come that who knows what could happen. It is not over yet, and as I said, there is a performance patch I think coming tomorrow, so that might change things up just a wee bit. But I'm sure Equaz will be looking pretty comfortable. Legend has got past Coupe, Vintage back, Vessia into the pits finally. His first stop of the day, getting off those hard tyres, changing that front wing, and onto the mediums he will go. So he will go to the end of the race now on those medium tyres, most likely. That is what the game predicted they could do, even if most of the drivers here have been unable to do so. Jeddah is falling back a little bit into the clutches of Reflection, who's got past Lewis O'Reilly. Jeddah, whilst his tyres will probably be slightly superior to that of Reflection's, probably quite warm from his flick spin. Baku, your front tyres don't degrade, your rear tyres do. So if you start overheating, if you're overheating, you can't really cool them down without the intervention of a caution. So we will wait and see what the drivers do. Reflection, I think everyone on the medium is going to have to pit again. Mushroom's going to have to pit again because those softs are not doing 10 laps. Reflection has got off the back of Jeddah. Reflection looking to make it P6 in this race. Again, if you want to pit now, you're doing fine, but Lewis is still got a bit of a train behind him. So again, the thing for the two-stop here that's critical is you need to come out in clean air to make an undercut work, or likewise not get in too much traffic that could hold you up if you were but again, as Coupe repasses Legend. So Coupe was passed by the Haas, but he's got back through. Is Jenna going to pit? Yes, Jenna back into the pit, so he doesn't want to go to the end on this set of hard tyres, which could potentially spell a bit of an issue there, because Lucas Percy, his tyres were a lap younger, and Jenna doesn't think he can make it to the end, although Jenna did have a spin. Lewis O'Reilly also pits in the Alpine, so he's the first of the medium runners to pit. Jenna onto a new set of the hard tyres. We have two sets of hards. Lewis O'Reilly onto a new set of the mediums. Those guys can go to the end with no issue. Reflection throws it into the end of sector 1. Any close battles, where's Lewis going to filter out? Lewis was up behind Kiki, so Kiki got the undercut, but Kiki also has a lot older tyres, so Kiki I think is going to be struggling a wee bit. So Lewis and Kiki, so that is the issue. You don't filter out in traffic. Does Lewis have front wing damage? He does. He's missing a front wing himself. Jesus Christ, it is all popping off people. Missing front wings. Cost cap damage is going to be through the roof. So that's unfortunate. Marky doing well though in P5. He is holding on well after a strong Baku, strong Saturday race. Hasn't been able to replicate it today, but I'm sure he'll be on for some solid points. He will have to pit again though, and I'm sure that pit stop is not too far away. Now, of course, without qualifying, these drivers do have plenty of fresh sets of soft tyres. Issue is soft tyres will be pretty horrifically, sadly bad. So as Marky moves on, Legend still behind Coupe, but I don't think he'll be too worried about that. Equaz 5 seconds off the back of Lucas Percy, so to be fair, Equaz, he wants to pit again, got nothing, well he does have a bit to lose, but Lucas is seemingly, without the intervention of a safety car or him putting it in the wall again, he will be winning this race this evening, although I probably did not give him the massive commentator's curse. Lewis has pitted again, pitting quick. That front wing damage did him in clearly. So 4 drivers have retired, 1 more, and everyone will be scoring points tonight in this race because it goes down to 15. So, yep, that is another driver out of contention. But look at this, quite a big field spread. Closest drivers are Knowlesley, Balin and Marsky, who will probably be quite relieved to see that Lewis was out, because Lewis was very much being a thorn in these guys' sides. So the only person happy that Lewis is out will be these people. As they head on to in the lap 18, I can foresee a lot of drivers pitting the next 2 laps onto new mediums, because even though the mediums didn't last that long in the first stint, they were able to last pretty long in this point, and they will go to the end from this point onwards. Any of the leaders going to pit? Lucas Preston staying out. He has no reason to pit. Is Equaz going to roll the dice? No, Equaz stays out. Coop is too busy fighting Legend, to be honest. Marky, is he going to pit? No, Marky might try to go to the end here, to be honest. Reflection is sticking out 3R. Seeing some people trying to stick it out. It could be because they want to go one more lap and make sure they have tyres that will make it to the end in really good nick, or they're just struggling. Vintage, all these guys have pitted again, which hasn't. Jenna has. Jenna is flying. He gained about 2 seconds as Knowsley and Balin have had a coming together. That is going to be Knowsley down. He's currently in 10th. That's probably going to be 11th pretty shortly, because Jenna is arriving on the scene. You see a very slow moving kick Sauber, and I think Balin's letting him go back through. He is. That's good sportsmanship there from McLaren, but it does mean that Jenna is now right on the tail of these two with very fresh tyres. Vintage pitting onto a set of softs. Okay, not entirely sure about that one, but Vintage pitting again, as there's another yellow. Justify has slowed himself right into the pit lane. That could be another pit and quit. So Justify Vintage into the pits. Justify Vintage coming out. Justify onto a new set of the mediums. That is a planned pit stop there for the Ferrari driver. I think he's being very cautious into the pit lane. I think Reflection will go to the end, because he did it in Baku and he held on, but I'm not entirely sure. I have a very sneaky suspicion we're going to see some very last-minute punctures here. Let's have his tyre. Front right looks a bit rough. I suppose his rear tyres look even worse. Yeah, you can see the marking on the rear tyres there. So you've got to be very careful not to kill these tyres too much, but he is closing a little bit on the back of Marky, so P5 is still on the cards for him here. Top 2 is going to stay up. They're so far ahead, they don't really see any reason to throw away a guaranteed podium. Gina picks up 3 seconds for track limit transgressions. Of course, Gina is the only person to pick one up so far. Of course, it is Gina that picks it up. As Coop on the back of Legend. Nope, sits behind him. Marky's pitting. Marky is into the pits. He doesn't want to go to the end on these medium tyres. I think that is a quite smart call. Marky's sticking it out. Hings is going to stick it out. He's on hards. Knowsley is going to pit. He's got a McLaren and a Williams. Oh god, guys, not 3 wide into Baku. 3 wide, it nearly is. Oh, he's trying to get the inside. Is Jenna? No, can't quite get it done. Jenna tried to get the McLaren. Hit McLaren went a bit deep, though. McLaren did go a bit deep on those older tyres. Jenna sticks behind for now. He'll get the DRS down into turn 3. So Jenna flying. Is he going to get past the McLaren now? You'd think so. He's got such better tyres than him. He does. Knowsley's fallen right off the back of these guys. As Jenna broke. Oh, that could be a safety car. That is a safety car. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a last-minute safety car here in Baku. Balin has missed his regular zone by a country mile, and he's done, I think it was 2021, where I think we had 3 drivers crash there. I think it was Ricardo, Sides, and Sonoda all crashed there during qualifying. So that screws over Marky, that screws over everyone that's already pitted. But now you're going to have to pit, because the safety car is out. It's a full course caution, so you will pit again. You will go onto new tyres. What tyres will it be? Will it be medium or will it be soft? Because as I said, it's Justified also crashed. Okay, not quite sure he's done that. Because you have new softs, because as I say, we don't have qualifying, so you have lots of new sets of soft tyres. But soft tyres are notably a horrific tyre. But this will be a long safety car, because we do have Mushrooms only just past safety car. So this is going to be a very, very long safety car period. This will probably be the maximum length it can be. So, what are these tyres for the leaders? Lucas Percy stops his marks. It is going to be soft for Lucas Percy. Equaz is in. What is it going to be for Equaz? Into the pit box. He goes for the Haas team. It is going to be soft for him. Allegedly, his teammate is going to potentially use out to Coop here, because he's going to get held up a little bit. Right, let's see the pit stop battle between these two. Soft. I think everyone's going to go for a set of softs. Coop does indeed jump Legend. Legend had to wait a bit for his teammate in the pit lane. Everyone into the pits. Jenna will stay out, because he might as well. He's only just pitted, to be honest. And he's blasting down the back straight. He's going to gain quite a few positions. He's going to come up P5, so that's quite good for Jenna. Although he will be a risky position duck. But I still think the soft's a bit of a risky call. But clearly the drivers know a lot more than I do. But to be fair, we did no qualifying laps. Drivers don't really know what the soft tyre wear is like anyway. It is soft across the board. Even Kiki and Vestia are coming in to get onto the soft. So softs clearly are the best tyre for this part of the race. People will probably bank on the fact that we're going to have quite a long safety car, which is true. So we'll wait and see, but this has very much put Lucas Percy under threat. He was running away with it, but now he has something else to worry about. The Mushroom is turn 1, Lucas Percy just about to end sector 2, so yeah, probably the end of the next lap, so end of lap 22, we'll see what's the gap to the leader. He's a minute down on the leader, and he's got a long way to go, even though he's going to be going a lot quicker than the Kick Sauber. Well, Mushroom. I always say that Mushroom pits again because he's really pushing these soft tyres, so he does have the option to pit again onto a new set of softs once he gets a little bit closer to the head of the field, which he is now doing. But he's gained about 5 seconds so far this lap, but he's still got a long way to go. This is where he'll gain the most out of the safety car, goes very safely here as is expected from a Aston Martin safety car. Compared to an F1 car, at least compared to road cars, it's generally quite a quick car. But Mushroom now up the castle section. But Jeddah has pitted. I'm not sure why he waited, but Jeddah has pitted. I assume maybe to make sure he has the ultimate set of softs. He's going to come up probably ahead of Knowsley. Knowsley is harvesting down this back straight, so he's going to come out ahead of the Kick Sauber. So yeah, Jeddah going to come out clear of Knowsley. He pops into the far side, so Jeddah comes up P9, fresh set of softs to him, but he doesn't have a 3 second. Vintage has pitted, so people at the back who are using their soft tyres now will pit again. It'll ultimately extend the safety car, but at the same time it will also prove to be very useful for them as we head into the end of this race. There is Mushroom. Is Mushroom going to re-pit? Not this lap, it might be next lap. If the safety car doesn't come in, it still might do. Mushroom now into the first corner. He's closed a lot, so about 20 seconds on the leaders on the last lap. He's going to probably close another 20. So the safety car could be in this lap. If it's not, I expect to see Mushroom back into the pits, fresh set of softs for the end of the race. So Mushroom now pushing onwards. So there you go, everyone on soft tyres. Obviously all fresh soft tyres because no one did qualifying. We will have a sprint to end this race, a sprint to determine who will win. It's not going to be in this lap, nothing yet from the FIA, so it could very well be out for another lap. I think Vintage and Mushroom too far back to mean the FIA is happy to get this race underway, so this is going to be a very short race. We are going to go from lap 24 to 26. We'll have DRS for 2 laps. We'll only use DRS on the start finish rate once in this race. That's why Mushroom's going so slowly. That means you can worry about going too quickly, does he? Because he's is he going to pick this lap? You think so, because he might as well, because you're not going to miss out that much. Oh, he might be having some delta problems, that's probably why. Right then, Mushroom has not pitted, so we'll be going racing at the end of lap 23, lap 24, DRS end of 25, 26, and that will be it, ladies and gentlemen. We hope you've enjoyed this race so far. It's going to be a cracking end, so don't go anywhere because it's going to be absolutely incredible to watch this race end in green flag conditions. It's going to be all or nothing. No, only one person has a 3-second penalty. Everyone else is clear, so if you want to get past someone, it will be for position. It will be for a spot in the pecking order. Right then, ladies and gentlemen, safety car is coming in the end of this lap. We will go racing again. Lucas Percy will become the safety car, and he will lead the drivers away. Eckhardt is going to have to keep an eye on the kickstart to catch up. Make sure he does not get dipped or jumped by the what's his name? By the kickstart, but it is all or nothing. Let us see how this race is going to end. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. There are going to be three racing laps to go. 3 racing laps to go to decide this double header. We've had a fantastic race in Saudi Arabia. This race in Baku, not quite being as fantastic from the driving standards, but it is going to be a cracker, and we are underway. Lucas Percy has got a Quasar a little bit napping there into turn 1. Legend are going to go try up the inside of Coupe, resume their battle that they were having before the safety car start. Has he got the Williams to have a bit of traction going inside the line? Coupe backs out with the yellow flag. Jay Hings has got past Markey. Jeddah watching these two on, happy to pick up any scraps. Still a yellow flag in sector 1, not sure what for. There is no cars going slowly. Jeddah has the best tyres out of anyone on this grid. Markey has the worst, and Markey has got passed by the Stun, and he's been tagged by Jeddah for good measure. That's not going to help him any good. Lucas Percy has absolutely flown into the sunset. He is nearly a second clear of the Hash driver, so he is already stretching his legs. Equine is already clear of Coupe, but Coupe and Legend were fighting hard at the safety car restart. That could be a potential reason as to why they are so far back. Coupe and Equine, who is going to do what as Equine climbs the hill? They're already a second. The gaps are filtering out the top. In the back, it is all to fight for. Still a yellow flag. Again, there are no cars going slowly in sector 1. We're not even in sector 1, so therefore that is just a game being F125. They blast down the hill into turn, I think it's 15. At the end of this lap, there'll be 2 laps to go, about to head on to the penultimate lap, and DRS will be enabled. The drivers will get their first taste of DRS. Legend and Coupe, that's going to be the main battle to fight. Coupe out of DRS of Equaz. Legend clear of Reflection, but not by much. Reflection is trying to get back into DRS range. Everyone's fighting hard here. Jinna on the back of Markey through the last few corners of this track that aren't really corners because they're just flat lefts and rights. Jinna now on the back. This is going to be the last time they can use pure battery and straight line speed to win, as Legend is going to go for it on Coupe. He's burned all his battery to do so. Legend up the inside, he gets the move done. Markey is going to be overtaken potentially by Hings. Oh, they make contact. Oh, they've put each other in the wall. They haven't ghosted him. That has hit Jinna badly. Knocks it up to 7th. They didn't ghost, unfortunately, in time. Jinna caught out there down the order, and Hings and Markey are still fighting, still trying to kill each other. It's massively unfortunate for all of the 3 drivers involved, but this is, as I said, was going to happen when Bert Minor took out Josh to fight. Oh, and they've killed each other, and that is a frontman gone for Markey. Markey, he went from winning the Saudi Arabia, he went from the pole here in Baku to a DNF. He is out. We have 13 runners left. Baku was claimed many victims tonight. I fear maybe a couple more maybe on their way. We do not have long to go. We are on the plot. Oh, Hings has been tagged by Vintage. Vintage is missing his front wing. Mushroom's gonna. Oh my god, Mushroom's gonna. Oh, no, guys, come on. Okay, thank god he was ghosted. I thought for a second that was gonna be side by side into the castle section, which is a fate worse than death. Coupe is still on the back of Legend. Reflection also here, so these guys all fighting for a podium. Marsky as well. So several drivers all within DRS. Who's gonna want DRS? Because of course, given the length of the back straight here in Baku, you can get past people on this straight on the run to the line. Very similar to Brazil, you can get overtakes done on this last stretch of track, but Lucas Percy is well clear. He's 1.4 clear of Equaz. Equaz, I don't think, has anything to say for the Kicksauber driver. As he comes up to the line, Kiki has got past Knowlesley. Kiki got past with DRS, but Knowlesley's going to have DRS down the next straight. But so Kiki has to make good while he can. As into the first corner for the last time at racing speed, Mushroom's got past Hings. That's not surprising. Hings has about as much front wing as I do in my car. Coop on the back, another yellow flag. No, that's Hings has gone. Hings has gone. No, we're down to 12, and that's Mushroom 2. They're all killing each other on the last lap here. The stewards and the racing drivers are not going to be happy with the quality of the driving here. But one person who doesn't care about the quality of the cars, does not care about what is unfolding behind him, will be Lucas Percy. He only has 2 sectors to go before he will claim win tonight, a win that he should have had in Saudi Arabia, a win that he probably felt it was taken away from him, albeit by a mistake of his own. He is making things right. People talk about the redemption arc of Daniel Ricciardo at Monaco. They'll be talking about the redemption arc of Lucas Percy here in ALR 100% double header. He crashed out in Saudi. He looks likely to take the win here in Baku. He has just a handful of corners to go before he can enjoy the victory tonight. Equaz is going to become a even more potent and powerful championship leader. He is going to be well clear of his rivals behind, who have both fallen into issues here this evening. But who is going to join them on the podium? Will it be a double Haas podium so Haas can extend their Constructors' Championship run? Or will it be Coop? Lucas Percy, Equaz has tried to get into Percy's DRS for the last DRS line. It is not going to work. Coop has a lot of battery. Coop could be on for the podium here. Coop could have enough to upshift up to 8th gear. He does so. Lucas Percy is going to come home to win here in Baku. He wins the second race of the evening. Lucas Percy wins. Equaz is going to come home second. Who is going to be third? I think it's going to be Legend by the skin of his teeth. It is Legend. He holds on by less than a tenth. So Coop Reflection is 5th. Marsky 6th. Kiki 7th. Knowlesley 8th. Vessier 9th. Jinna comes home 10th. Serious Mushroom finishes 11th. Vintage not a million miles away in 12th. Wow, that was a close end there. Coop just missing out on the podium. What a race! Now there's going to be some discussions after that for those driving standards, because that was interesting. That was an interesting race. Baku Carnage. Thank you for the thank you there, Shadow. That was crazy. But it is Lucas Percy who takes the win. Wow. My voice is shot. I am sweating like a nonce in a playground. But it is Lucas Percy who wins. I'm sure that'll be a popular win. He'll feel like he has got a bit of redemption for Saudi Arabia. And the 2 Haas drivers once again sit on the podium to extend their Constructors' Championship. They extend their Constructors. We extend the Constructors. And they also extend the Constructors, and they also extend in the championship lead for Equaz. There you go, 12th to 1st for Lucas, 17th to 2nd for Equaz. Some incredible drives here. Reflection got home 5th. Those are so Lucas Percy, Equaz, Legend, your podium sitters. Coop, Reflection, your top 5. Marsky, Kiki, Knowlesley, Vessier, and Jinna, your top 10. Mushroom and Vintage, those that crossed the line. Hings technically classified 1 lap down. Marky also technically classified 2 laps down, and then everyone else was very much out of the equation. It was, although I don't know why you waited a lap to pit. To be honest, Jinna, that's on you, I think. So I hope I'm in the right one. Wonder if the drivers will join us, obviously. I'm pretty sure I'm in the right party. I don't think I was in the right one. Right, we'll try again. There we go. I'm in the party with everyone. What a race. Wow. That was quite incredible there from the drivers here this evening. Oh, I've got to pick a favourite team. Oh, hello.
It's Ferrari. British.
Okay, no one judge me for my choices. Okay, can I skip this bit? Well, it wasn't as bad as it could have been, but you just got caught up in an unfortunate incident. Okay, yeah, I don't need this. So, yeah. Okay, can I get... I just want to put up the cars. Okay, I don't care about this because no one ever does it. There we go. Wait, see if anyone joins us. I think pretty much I just want to go home and go to bed, to be honest. But it was a kick salver of Lucas Percy, who won. Marky, who won in Saudi Arabia. Just make sure no one has joined. No one yet in the box. I don't think we're going to get any interviews tonight. Oh no, I tell a lie. There's always one. There's always one person that joins to have an interview. There's always one Yapatron. Lucas, can you hear me? I cannot hear you. I'm not sure if others can. Give me a second. Let me just turn up my own stream. Because I still can't get party. Still can't get... Never get party or do to work. Yeah, we can't hear you, Lucas. It could be because you're on... don't know if it's because you're on your mobile device. And it says you're talking, but I cannot hear you. I'm not sure how it works with the whole thing. It says I can see your blue thing flashing to say that you are talking, but I can't hear you. Actually, give me a sec. Give me 1 second. Let me just do this. Yes, that's what I want. No, that's not what I want. I'm still getting work. Still not sure this PS5 works. Okay, Lucas, speak now.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, there we go. We got you. We got you.
There we go.
There we go. Yes. Congratulations on the win tonight. But unfortunately, I'm going to have to bring up the good old Saudi Arabian race because it was a double header. You were leading that until that crash. Can you just walk us through what happened there? Because all we saw was that you crashed. What happened?
Yeah, a bit unfortunate, really. I felt like I had pretty good pace. I felt like I could have maybe stayed ahead and got the win in that race, but unfortunately, the tyres just gave out. Before the race, I forgot to change the pressures back to the race setup pressures, so my rears were just completely overheating throughout the whole race. And then, unfortunately, I was thinking to myself the lap before, like, I just need to play it safe now, otherwise I am going to spin. And unfortunately, just heading into the S's into the left-hander, the rears stepped out on me and I couldn't save it, and unfortunately I collected a couple of cars with me.
You definitely did. Your reflection in the Kiki, I don't think I'm going to forgive you for that, even though it was a pure mistake. Those tyre pressures can be a killer. I'm sure most people agree. If you forget to change it to the race tyre pressures, you are done for. But we will move on to happier times, happier tidings. Your race in Baku, you talk about redemption arc, very quick redemption arc at that. That looked like a pretty controlled race from you. I know you didn't start that low down the grid, given your championship position, but you looked effortlessly quick out there. How was that race from your point of view?
Yeah, it felt really good, to be honest. The first time I've done Baku on this game, so I wasn't really sure what to expect. I asked Coop for a setup just as we got into the lobby, and yeah, it felt good. I made a few changes to that just to my own liking, and yeah, it worked out perfectly, to be honest. On the first few laps, me and Coop were both saying to each other, like, this feels really strange. Like, we just managed to get through everyone effortlessly. Like, no one was trying to defend. I mean, I know there was a few incidents in front of us that we managed to capitalise on, but other than that, yeah, I mean, I think I went from P12 to P4 within the space of 2.5 laps. So I think that was the start of my race, and thankfully, yeah, I got a bit of luck, which I don't think I've had this season so far. I mean, I remember last week my race fell off, my chair fell off my rig, and then, yeah, like you said, in Jeddah I had the spin, but yeah, finally felt good for a change and managed to convert it into a win.
You did. Obviously, we had that very light safety car. You built a very healthy gap back to Equars during the green flag conditions. Were you disappointed to see the safety car, or did you just think, I know I've got the pace in me, I pulled a gap before, I can do it again?
Yeah, of course you're disappointed, especially when you're 7 seconds up the road and you're cruising. You do get a bit of a dagger to the heart, because you're then thinking, oh God, what's going to happen? There might be a bit of carnage behind, and then I might get included in that, or you know, Quasar might be quicker than me on the softs, but thankfully I managed to just keep my cool and drive ahead and managed to keep the gap to about 1.5 to a Quasar. I'm pretty sure he was definitely quicker than me today, but I think just due to the gap I had at the start, it kind of allowed me to cruise and thankfully take the win for a change.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as I said, it probably should have been you in Saudi Arabia if you hadn't messed up the setup. But it's still early in the season, so I am going to ask you, because you have won, championship ambitions. Obviously, you lost out to Equaz in Saudi. You have clawed back a little bit of the deficit now in Baku, but you did, annoyingly for you, finish second. What are your championship hopes? Is there a hope for the drivers? Are you going to try and go for the drivers, or is there a position you'd like to finish in, or what's going forward? You've got a bit of momentum now. We know you have great pace. You had it in Saudi. You had it definitely tonight in Baku. What's the goal for the end of the season in the drivers?
The goal is 100% go for the drivers. I mean, in Australia, I was battling for the podium until the second stint of rain came, and unfortunately I made a bad strategy call which made me finish down in P9. In China, obviously, I was P3, which was a decent result because I'm not really a fan of China. Japan, I think I was battling, well, I was in the lead at Japan until my rig broke, and that unfortunately made me pit and quit. So I think the races I've done so far, I've always been at the top battling for the win. If I haven't pit or quit or DNF, then I've definitely been in the chances for a win. So 100% my aim is to get that drivers championship, and also hopefully myself and Nazi can collect that constructors championship as well.
Absolutely. One final question. It is 100%. We're going back to the 100% for next week in Bahrain, but you're going to have to do presets only. How are you feeling about Bahrain in general, and how do you feel about that wild card?
I love Bahrain. I'd say it's one of my better tracks. The presets helps. I don't know what to expect, to be honest. I think it's going to be absolutely carnage. But yeah, I mean, as long as I manage to just get into a rhythm, then I'm pretty sure I can maybe try and go for the win again. But we'll have to find out next week.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations, Lucas. That was a very controlled drive there in Baku, and you were very quick in Saudi Arabia. So I think there are some people need to look out here in the 100% league. But it was Marky in the first. It was Lucas Percy in the second who won today here. That was quite a double header. I'm sure you'll all agree. Please do come back next week. Of course, gold, silver and bronze are all going to be at their usual times, Sunday through to Tuesday. We are back next week for Bahrain. 100% race, but it is preset only, so drivers will not be able to use their own custom setups. How will that affect things? Well, we'll only have to wait and find out. Won't be next week. Thank you all for watching. It's been a pleasure. I am Luke. This has been a 100% double header here in Saudi and Azerbaijan. What a race, what an evening. I'm sure you'll all agree. See you soon, guys. Have a lovely evening.